The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. Sony, which offers a full variety of innovative entertainment products. And by Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
Metropolitan Stadium, Bloomington, Minnesota. A December day, it is Viking weather as two playoff contenders square off, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. Hello, everyone. I'm Don Crickey with Sonny Jurgensen. The Eagles come into this game as a legitimate playoff contender. Their record 8-5. As you know, they've won their last 4 games. The question seems to be, even in the mind of a lot of the Eagles, how good are they, Sonny?
Well, even Dick Vermeil said himself, he said, I'm not sure that we are a playoff team, but we have an opportunity to get there. We have 3 games to play. We plan on winning them and getting in the playoffs and find out.
And, of course, the Vikings are under pressure right now. They're 7-5-1. And now our national anthem. We're just about set to go. When you play in Minnesota in December, weather is always a big factor. Sonny, how will it affect the game?
Well, I don't think it'll affect the Vikings as much as Philadelphia because they're used to playing in this weather, and they're going to do the same type of thing that they always do. Tarkenton's going to be throwing the ball short to his backs coming out of the backfield. And I think it's important, though, that for Philadelphia to try to get the points on the board first. Both teams would like to get on the board first because in this type of weather, it's difficult to play catch-up football.
Game tends to get conservative, huh?
I think it will. On Philadelphia's part, I think so. And, you know, you want to get on that lead and sit on it if you can.
All right, let's go down now. We're going to have the toss of the coin, and we're almost set to go now as the Eagles come in with an 8-5 record, and the Vikings, of course, 7-5-1. Looks like the Vikings have won the toss, Sonny.
Yes, I'm sure that talking to both coaches down on the field, the offensive coordinators, they both are very concerned about trying to put points on the board first. Especially, I think Philadelphia would like to get on. They said that they might come out throwing it right at the beginning to try to get the lead in this game.
Well, one of the interesting things, Sonny, as you talked about earlier, is the fact that oftentimes the field gets worse as play progresses, and if you want to get that open offense going, you've got to do it in the first quarter or maybe the second, because sometimes in the third and fourth, the field has frozen up tight and it's real hard to move long.
Walking down on the field, it wasn't really that, the footing wasn't that bad, but as you said, I think in the latter part of the game, it could get bad.
Well, we are just about set to go now as the Vikings drop back their return man, the rookie Kevin Miller. Number 87 is going back deep. And going back with him is another first-year player, Harry Washington.
Number 87, Kevin Miller.
And there is Mike Michel, ready to kick the ball off for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles have not had much success against the Minnesota Vikings in 6 previous meetings. They've not won against Minnesota. Last time they played was in '76. The Vikings a decided victor, 31-12. The Vikings coming off a 10-10 tie with the Green Bay Packers last Sunday at Green Bay. The Eagles, of course, their 4th consecutive victory at St. Louis. They beat the Cardinals 14-10. Michel is ready. Arena's sold out. Here is the kick from Michel. It's going to carry short. Coming up and fielding the ball on the run is Kevin Miller, rookie from Louisville. He's across the 25 and the 30. And working hard, Kevin Miller takes the ball out across the 35-yard line to the 37. So the Eagles pay on a short kickoff. The Vikings come out with good field position.
Yes, they got a pretty good field position here, up to about the 37-yard line, and this could be a good place to start from for Tarkenton. Let's see what he plans to do. You're looking at the backfield there, Tarkenton, Young, and Foreman. With those backs, it's hard to understand why they haven't had more offense. Best receivers they've ever had here, I think, as a group, White, Rashad, and Tucker as the offensive line. It's really been maligned and banged up.
Here's Tarkenton, first down, throwing in the flat. The ball is caught by Rashad. He is across midfield and down to the Eagle 49-yard line. Herman Edwards, the right side cornerback, makes the hit on him, but the Vikings come out throwing and move the ball nicely for a first down.
Yeah, good throw, good safe call then, and obviously wanting to take it on down now and see what happens. Looking at the linebackers there that Philadelphia, Wilkes, Berge, Lamaster, and Mahalik back in the lineup. The deep backs, Howard, Edwards, Logan, and Shar is having to play today. Sanders.
Tarkenton rolling out, takes a look at Ricky Young, who's got the most receptions of any player in the NFL. A high throw that Rashad takes down with one hand. The Eagles would have intercepted that ball, not been taken down by Rashad. Eagle defense in position to intercept, but Ahmad Rashad with his second reception, another good for a first down.
Well, what a throw and catch that was, Rashad. We talk about the difficulty of throwing and catching the ball, and we've seen two great plays. Watch this catch. Here, you take another look at it. The throw, watch it, one hand, he goes up and pulls that thing down. Shar was in good position to intercept that ball if Rashad hadn't made the reception.
Now the Vikings take it up the middle and knock it down close to the 20-yard line. Chuck Foreman on the carry. He's not been as productive this year. The Vikings have had a problem with their offensive line. Foreman averaging 3.1 yards a carry. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards the past 3 seasons. Doesn't look like he'll get there this year unless he has 3 big concluding games. He's 626 yards running the ball coming into this game, averaging 3.1 a carry. A light snow is blowing here in Bloomington, Minnesota. As with 2nd and 7, Tarkenton goes to the run. And Ricky Young hits the ball down to the 16-yard line of the Eagles. The knockdown on the play by linebacker Frank Lamaster. Across the defensive front of the Philadelphia Eagles, Dennis Harrison, Charlie Johnson, and Carl Hairston. Reggie Wilkes, Frank Lamaster, Bill Berge, and Drew Mahalik back the line. At the corners, Herman Edwards and Bob Howard. The safeties are Randy Logan and John Shara. Thank you. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 2 for the Vikings. Ball just outside the 15-yard line as Foreman goes wide. The Eagles cannot hem him in. And Chuck Foreman brings the ball ahead for yet another Minnesota Viking first down. Ricky Young leading the blocking. Sonny?
Foreman almost fell down in the snowbank over there after going out of bounds. You see the run here. Pretty good block there by Yari. And he just goes out of bounds, but that's when he went into the snowbank over there and slipped.
So now the ball is advanced inside the 10-yard line of the Eagles. The Vikings driving, taking the opening kickoff, getting it back outside their 35-yard line. And now they're challenging for what might be the first score of the football game. Foreman goes in motion. Tarkenton with a quick screen goes out to Sammy White, wide receiver, and he is driven down hard at the 7-yard line. Coming up on the play to make the hit was Herman Edwards, number 46.
Pretty good throw here, a little quick screen. This is what Tarkenton likes to do. Threw it out, they had a slot formation. He throws it out to White and had Rashad in front of him. And a lot of green shirts. Green helmets got there in a hurry then.
And popped him good. There we see a second quarter score at Cincinnati. That would help the Philadelphia Eagles if that ever held up. That's, of course, Atlanta coming into today's game with an 8-5 record like the Eagles. Tarkenton swings it out. Ricky Young lost the ball. Young was the running back who came here from San Diego and already has caught 74 passes this year to lead the National Football League in that area. Not that much yardage. Tarkenton's had problem with interceptions this year, son. He's thrown 22 so far.
Well, I think the big problem is they haven't been able to run the football, and by not being able to run, if you have to put it up 40 times a game, you're going to come up with interceptions, and he's had to force the ball quite a bit this year, and I think that's the reason for the number of interceptions.
And his protection has not been the same. Now you see the comparative statistics as he is closing in on one of your records, completions in a season.
You don't have to remind me of that, do you?
It's been a long time. Tarkenton looks into the end zone. Man is open. Touchdown, Vikings. Sammy White. Sammy White, wide receiver out of Grambling, beats John Shara. And the Vikings go on the board, traveling 63 yards in just 8 plays. Harkinen throwing to White on the payoff end.
It made it look easy, didn't he? Had him beat badly. We had a good pattern, a little corner pattern.
And now we have Danmeyer in the game. Rick Danmeyer to try the point after. He could have beaten Green Bay last week, missed a 21-yard field goal in the sudden death overtime. Neither team able to score in the extra 15, and his extra point is drilled through. And so the Vikings come out fast with 12:09 left to play in the first quarter here at Bloomington, Minnesota. It is the Minnesota Vikings 7, the Philadelphia Eagles nothing.
Introducing a new American road car. The all-new Ford LTD for 1979. With more passenger room, more driver convenience, more handling ease, and more window area than last year's LTD. More room inside to help provide road car comfort on long trips. A V8 engine standard to help provide road car power and acceleration for the long stretch. And for even tough city driving, more handling ease than last year. LTD, a road car to take you across town or across the country.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island.
Ford LTD for 1979 in 2-door, 4-door, and wagon models. A new American road car. Available now at Ford dealers across the country.
Now, it came in. What?
Back at Bloomington, Minnesota, this is Don Criqui with Sonny Jurgensen. Danmeyer ready to kick off now for the Minnesota Vikings as they came out quickly. Went 63 yards to take the lead 7-0. Harkinen throwing to Sammy White for the touchdown. The kickoff downfield. Getting under the ball for the Eagles is Louis Giamona across the 20, out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And there the Eagles go on offense, 1st and 10. Ron Jaworski is their quarterback. Wilbert Montgomery and Mike Hogan start as the running backs. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Minnesota Vikings and the National Football League is prohibited. There are the interior linemen. You see the left guard, a change there. Wade Key is out with an injury. Tom Lukin starts for Philadelphia. Carmichael's to the left. Charlie Smith is on the right flank, lower left-hand portion of your screen. See if Jaworski comes out pitching now like Tarkinen did. They go to the run, and Wilbert Montgomery busts ahead. Now well over 900 yards for the season as Montgomery takes the ball out across the 35 to the 36. He gained 8, knocked down by the strong safety. Bill Wise. There's the front four. Those guys have been around a while, Sonny.
And they're good, too.
They say that in his 19th year, Jim Marshall's playing as well as he has. Carl Eller in his 15th year. Blair, Seaman, and McNeil back the line. The defensive tackles are Sutherland and White. Again, the Eagles go right at the gut of the Minnesota Viking defense. Mike Hogan runs ahead, knocked down by linebacker McNeil, but it's a 1st down carry for the Eagles.
Pretty good blocking in that offensive line. Opened up a big hole out. What about this? Miami 6, Washington nothing.
Garo Yepremians kicked a couple of field goals. That's a very important score for the Minnesota Vikings as the Green Bay Packers are out in front of Tampa Bay. Vikings lead this game 7-0 in the first quarter. Jaworski play faking. Marshall gets a shot at him. Here's the pitch. Carmichael's open. It'll be touchdown Philadelphia. What a football play. Jaworski with the good play fake held the defense. And then the big guy, Carmichael, now receiving successfully in 94 consecutive games. Takes it in for a touchdown.
Boy, good play action fake. Marshall had a shot at him and missed him. But what a great throw by Ron Jaworski. Just over the outstretched hands of Bryant. And Carmichael goes in untouched.
So that off track we were talking about, Sonny, certainly hasn't affected things early. This looks like it could be a track meet.
Well, they both wanted to put points on the board early, and they both have. Well, what a throw he makes.
Carmichael with his 46th reception of the season, his 7th for a touchdown. Michelle, soccer kicks the ball through, and with 10:42 still to play in the first quarter, the game is tied. Philadelphia 7, the Minnesota Vikings 7.
That TV show we want to watch goes on in 5 minutes.
Stars and guys like that. Me? I'm just a humble bartender, but I drink light too. And I'll tell you why. It's less filling, it's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and it tastes great.
Jerry, now that you're a big star, can I have your autograph?
Well, sure, Mr. Dangerfield.
Hey, would you like mine?
Not really.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How about my initials?
Monday, the White Shadow tries to help a star player beat alcoholism.
What makes you such an expert?
My father was an alcoholic.
Win with the White Shadow, Monday night.
Fresco. All right, you see the score. It's tied up 7-7 Philadelphia and Minnesota as the Eagles went 72 yards in just 3 plays. 56-yard scoring pitch was the payoff to Carmichael. Again, a short kickoff is returned for good field position. Harry Washington, number 80, took it back for the Vikings. Advanced the ball to the Minnesota 35-yard line. So Tarkin and Sonny came out with a lot of options, a lot of play faking. Here's San Francisco needing a win very badly out in front of New Orleans, 3-0 in the first quarter. Let's see if he keeps on throwing.
I think he will. I think he'll same type of offense they've had before, and that's what they've had to rely on because of their inability to run the ball.
Ahmad Rashad, who had 2 very important receptions in that touchdown drive, is out in the left flank. White, who caught the scoring throw, is off to the right. Tarkinen looks long. Rashad going deep. Home run ball. Just broken up, and here's a penalty marker on Herman Edwards. Came in kind of late, didn't it?
It did. The official was a long way behind the play. He was trying to throw the flag in the immediate area of the penalty, and he was running up the sidelines following the receiver. But I think Edwards made a little contact there. Rashad almost made the reception anyway.
Interference, number 46, defense, first down.
Dick Jorgensen, our referee today, and the rest of his officiating crew, as the ball is now down to the 25-yard line of the Eagles on the penalty.
Take a look at this way. We can see if we see the penalty right here at the end. You see Edwards right there as he makes contact. It was a good, smart play on his part, because if he didn't, Rashad would have caught it for the touchdown.
Handoff to Foreman, running hard up the middle. Foreman cracks down inside the 25-yard line, close to the 23. Carl Hairston, the right end, made the stop for Philadelphia, number 78. The Eagles have allowed their opposition only 12 points a game over the last 10 games this season. But the Vikings moving quickly here in the first quarter. This game is tied 7-7. We still have 10 minutes to play in the quarter. Tarkenton now in his 18th year from Georgia, setting his team down with a 2nd and 6 play coming up. Quick look, drop, throw. Again, Rashad with a circus catch. Ahmad Rashad, 3 spectacular receptions. And the ball is advanced inside the 15-yard line. It's a first down.
Well, I can't believe the receptions we're seeing in the throw then. Edwards almost made an interception. And Rashad just went up again with that one hand and made the snag. Maybe they don't know it's cold out there, Don.
Boy, they're playing like it's a beautiful day. Temperature at game time was 20 degrees. The field had been covered. There's been substantial snowfall in the area, and it's starting to snow lightly again now. There's a buildup of about 3 or 4 inches overnight. The field is frozen hard. Now Tarkinen takes a look. There he is, 5 of 6, throwing the ball for 57 yards so far. In the flat, he goes to Foreman. He's tough one-on-one. And a good open field tackle made by the left side cornerback, Bob Howard.
Take a look at this. It's just a little straight drop back, and he just threw the ball trying to, as you said, get him out in the open field. But boy, Howard makes a good play then to get Mr. Foreman down, because that's a job.
It is a job. They just wanted to isolate Foreman on the defense, one-on-one. The advance was only 2 yards. The ball is down to the Philadelphia Eagle 12-yard line, 2nd down and 8, Minnesota. Tarkinen looks, throws up the middle. Penalty marker goes down as the reception is made, and the knockdown of Bob Tucker, the tight end, is at the 9-yard line. There's going to be a holding call here, Sonny, against the Minnesota Vikings, and so that'll set them back outside their 20.
Yes, unfortunately for the Vikings, pretty good play. It was down close to a first down, not quite a first down, but of course the Eagles will take the penalty here.
The game is tied in the first quarter, 7-7, and here's Dick Jorgensen.
Holding number 73, offense, still second down.
The best player in the Viking offensive line, Ron Yeri, is called for the hold, and so the ball is set back to the 22-yard line of Philadelphia. And it will now be second down and 19. 8 minutes and 23 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Game tied 7-7. Tarkin with a long yardage play now. Eagles send a blitz. Mihalik's coming. Swings it out to Ricky Young. And Young thunders inside the 10-yard line. He'll be short of a first down, but he got back all the penalty yardage and 6 more. A 16-yard gain.
Big play here. Watch Young come underneath. Everybody's crossing the other way. You see him. He just checks across and after everybody else had crossed on the right side, found a lot of running room. Good smart call in.
7-7, that's our count right now. First quarter, Metropolitan Stadium, Bloomington, Minnesota. The Vikings fighting to win the NFC Central Division. Green Bay is leading now, Tampa Bay 17-7. Tarkenton into the end zone, man is open, touchdown Vikings. And again, they go to Sammy White. As we have seen a highlight reel of offensive plays and not a whole lot of pass defense in this one.
Well, he's got a lot of time to throw the ball. He makes a good throw because he was bailing out at the time, kind of going backwards. Watch him throw this ball off balance. He knew where the receiver was going to be. Right here, you see him. He's kind of falling back. Just lays it out in front of him. Boy, he beat him easily, didn't he? It's real difficult for that those secondary people to cover today, Don, because of the footing and they're unsure of it.
Yeah, the wide receiver definitely has the drop there. Here's the extra point attempt. It is up and good, and so the Vikings this time go 64 yards in just 5 plays. And again, on the payoff end, it is Fran Tarkenton throwing to Sammy White, and all of a sudden, it is 14-7.
These are 2 of today's newest razors. The one on the right is the new Norelco Rotary Razor. This one has 2 blades, the new Norelco 36. This one pivots up and down. The new Norelco has 3 adjustable heads that float and a new shaving angle. Both give you a close shave, but there is one thing they offer that Norelco doesn't. Gotcha! The new Norelco Rotary Razor. Very close, but no gotcha.
Introducing Hertz takeoff rates. Save up to 35% on the average weekday rental when you take off Thursday through Sunday for a minimum of 2 to 3 days. Take off in a subcompact for only $13.95 a day. Fairmont's $15.95. Granada $17.95. Thunderbirds $21.95 a day. All with no charge for mileage. There are some restrictions, so check with Hertz. Take off next weekend with Hertz low takeoff rates.
There is the football, and Dan Meyer is ready to kick it off again for the Vikings. They lead the game 14-7 first quarter. Back deep for the Philadelphia Eagles are Camfield and Giamona. Louis Giamona at the 6. 15, 20, 25. He's out to the 27-yard line. So the Eagle offense, which struck quickly the first time it had the ball, comes back out on the field. They went 72 yards in just 3 plays, did the Eagles, and that's what the Vikings did their last possession to take the lead. 64 yards in just 5 plays.
Jaworski's going to play catch-up all day if this keeps up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's almost forced to throw to get back in it. High formation in the backfield. Charlie Smith comes in motion. Second back is Wilbert Montgomery. Philadelphia Eagles best this season. He is out close to the 30-yard line.
Montgomery, the ball carrier.
Getting closer, Sonny, huh?
He's getting in a hurry, too, isn't he?
Actually, you had more yardage, though, your year. A lot more, I think.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Right now, we have the Philadelphia Eagles breaking the huddle.
Eagles at their 31.
Second down and 6. Ball at the Eagle 30. Vikings 14, Eagles 7. Mike Hogan working hard. He has thrown back Doug Sutherland, the left tackle, now in his 9th year, making the stop. Matt Blair, 59, also on the defensive play for Minnesota.
You see what nice about it? They didn't knock him down anyway. Boy, that ground
Just
is
danced
hard.
a little. They sure do a lot to take care of it, though. It's a grass field. They have it covered. Then they blow it off with flamethrowers. They have big brushes on it. Brush the frost off. Frost is right back on, though. 5 defensive backs come into the secondary of the Minnesota Vikings on a 3rd down and 4 play for the Eagles. Jaworski with a long count. Here's the drop. He's got time. He's got a man. But it doesn't look like it's first down yardage. It went to the tight end, Osborne. He had to advance the ball out to the 36. And it looks like the knockdown was made at about the 35. Matt Blair covering, so the Vikings will get the ball back on a punt.
Not a real good play for the Eagles. Not getting the necessary yards for the first down. Sure, Osborne would like to do that play again.
Number 2, Mike Michelle.
Yep, didn't run deep enough.
He didn't run deep enough, is right.
And now Kevin Miller is back deep for Minnesota. Here's a big rush. Michelle hits the ball nicely. Drives Miller back to the 26. Looking for room to the outside. The Eagle coverage is excellent. But Miller's not done yet. And now he has some open field and almost broke the crust. He got back to the 33-yard line. And there's an Eagle down on the play.
He did. He really got blocked from the blind side. See if you can see it here. There was the block.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. Got a 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
All across the country, Sears is helping get ready for Christmas. And now Sears helps you with a Craftsman tool sale. This 7-inch circular saw with motor that develops a maximum 1 2/3 horsepower. This variable speed saber saw with scroller knob. The Craftsman dual motion pad sander with built-in dust pickup. And variable speed reversible 3/8-inch drill. Just $34.99 each. All across the country, Sears comes home for Christmas.
Coming next, see top touring pros in the Mixed Team Championship of Golf. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
And we're happy to report that Dennis Franks, who went down after a hard block on the punt return coverage, is up and all right, coming off the field. Here's the replay of Kevin Miller's return.
Yeah, he just got blocked from the blind side and wasn't expecting the block, and they have knocked the wind out of him.
So now with 5:26 to play in the first quarter, the Vikings go back on offense and pick up right where they left off, throwing the football. Foreman takes it over the middle, gets ahead for a gain of about 7 or 8 yards close to the 40-yard line. Bill Berge, the middle linebacker, made the knockdown on the play. The New York Jets holding to a 14-10 lead over Baltimore in the second quarter. New Orleans and San Francisco now tied 3-3. Of course, the irony of San Francisco's poor season is that Buffalo gets their #1 choice in the O.J. Simpson trade. Speaking of Buffalo, they're at Kansas City and not doing too well at the moment. Sammy White goes in motion for the Vikings. Tarkinen again drops to throw. He's looking deep. Rashad is running a long pattern. So is White in the flat. The ball is thrown. And the coverage comes in just on time to make the knockdown and split the ball. Bob Howard came up 23. What do guys wear in this weather, Sonny, to ward off this cold? Is there any special things they've developed?
Well, some of them actually wear pantyhose.
Okay, I'll accept
and,
that.
a lot of them wear this, put this stuff on that is called analgesic balm, and it's for rub down, and it's very hot, and it's for aches and pains, and they put it all over their body just to keep warm in conditions like this.
Does it actually keep warm, or you just think you're warm?
Well, it actually. Look out!
Harkinnen's caught. Let's see if he get a grounding on that. They do not. Foreman was near the ball. Eagles almost had Tarkin for a loss of about 25 yards. Francis was going full speed toward the wrong goal line. So now the Eagles hold on defense after the Vikings drove for touchdowns their first two possessions to take a 14-7 lead. And back deep now for the Eagles is John Shara. Vikings went to work on Shara early. He was called on to start for one of the injured players, John Sanders, the free safety. Greg Coleman, a 40-yard punter, in from the Cleveland Browns, ready to hit the ball for Minnesota, standing at his 25. Low snap. Low punt. It'll go out of bounds at about the 25-yard line of the Eagles, and they come back out on offense, 1st and 10. The new look of the CBS Sports Spectacular for 1979 will have far more live coverage and more international events. Feature the fight of the week with top-ranked fighters slugging it out, plus the 3rd annual Hollywood Stunt Competition with some of Hollywood's best stuntmen in competition in acts not to be believed. We'll also have the Mr. Universe competition, World Cup skiing, and much more. That's the new look of the CBS Sports Spectacular for 1979. Right now, we have the Eagles with the ball on a cold day in Bloomington, Minnesota. They trail in the first quarter 14-7. Jaworski goes to the run. The yards come hard for Wilbert Montgomery. He got ahead for maybe 2 out to the 27-yard line. A hard-hitting Michigan State player, Tom Hannon, 45, who's the free safety, came up to make the pop.
And it's kind of difficult for that back to cut back, and he has to kind of run straight ahead. Or if you notice the backs today throughout the game, their yardage will be going straight ahead instead of the dancing.
As you know, Sonny, Bud Grant, the Viking coach, said the most improved area and the strongest area he thinks of the Eagle team has been the offensive line. They've really tightened up. On 2nd and long, Jaworski pump fakes. He's got to hurry. Eller's got him, and that's it for Ron Jaworski back at the 17-yard line. Carl Eller, number 81, in his 15th year from Minnesota. 5 times an All-Pro, 6 times in the Pro Bowl.
Jaworski was pumping, trying to get his receiver long, and he ran out of time. Kind of penalty on the play. I think it's going to be the chucking rule, I would imagine.
Aha. That negates the sack. The penalty is going to go against the Vikings. That would have been the 31st sack of this season of Ron Jaworski, but it's negated by the penalty. A defensive penalty resulting in an automatic first down for the Eagles as the ball is out to the 32-yard line.
Illegal contact, defense, first down.
Guy on the defense was lucky, Sonny, they didn't call his number.
I would have to guess it was Nate Wright. There was a chucking rule on the receiver. Was trying to go up the field, and he just pushed him.
Jaworski sets his team on 1st and 10 at the Eagle 32-yard line. Montgomery slashing for yardage. A hard hit is made. Bobby Bryant, number 20, a veteran cornerback out of South Carolina, came up along with Jeff Seaman. And so there's a short gain, about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Jaworski hitting both his throws. Of course, the one went for 56 yards to Harold Carmichael, and that was the touchdown for Philadelphia that tied the game at that point, but the Vikings have since come back to go ahead 14-7.
2nd and 8 for the Eagles at their 34.
3:05 to play, first quarter. Jaworski's looking at Carmichael. Here's Eller again. Jaworski gets it away to Hogan, who loses the ball. Jaworski was looking long at Harold Carmichael, who was running the go pattern on the far sideline. And then big Carl Eller came back on through.
That's about as long as you can keep the ball on the screen and not get sacked, because he kept it to the last second before throwing the screen, and Hogan couldn't come up with it.
So on 3rd and long yardage, the Vikings go back to the 5 defensive backs. Eller's getting through against a very good offensive tackle, Jerry Sizemore. Third and 8, Philadelphia. Jaworski holds it back to pick up the blocking. Looks, throws, swings it out. With the ball is Hogan. First down, Eagles. As Hogan works his way across the 40 and gets the ball out to the 43-yard line. A well-executed football play by the Eagles. The knockdown by the strong safety, Phil Wise.
I think this is a big improvement in Ron Jaworski's this year. Wanting to go long, cannot do it, and then coming off of his receiver and going to the back, coming out of the backfield, and Hogan picks up the first down.
Jaworski's looking at everybody. That's the thing it takes time to learn to do, doesn't it?
I think that's right, and this year he's done it, but he's been, I think, being more selective in his receivers has been his big improvement.
First and 10 for the Eagles at their 44.
Now, as we see, he's gone to 4 different receivers in the game so far. Jaworski's going to put it up again on first down. He throws. He's got a man open, the tight end, Osborne, and he's out of bounds inside the Viking 30-yard line. They'll spot him out of bounds at the 30. Another nice play.
Same play that they had success last week against the Cardinals. The little corner pattern off the play action fake. Osborne, well, he got a little too close to the sidelines then and got out of bounds. You see him here coming down. You just see wide open. Boy, Phil Wise kind of let him get to that corner without contesting it at all.
And on a very off day, playing on an off track, we've seen a lot of good offensive football as the Eagles now start to strike back, trailing 14-7 late in the first quarter. First and 10, Jaworski goes to the run. Here comes Wilbert Montgomery, darting and dancing down to the 25-yard line. He got 5. Tom Hannon knocked him down.
Darting and dancing.
Really wasn't running straight ahead.
He had a tough time cutting.
How would that feel? It seemed to be getting harder and harder even while you were down there before the game.
Yes, I think it was, and the footing wasn't good. Watching Chuck Foreman just pounding on the ground, trying to get his cleats in it.
Hogan on the carry for Philadelphia. Takes the ball down to the 22-yard line. Fred McNeil, who's been the Vikings' best linebacker along with Seaman, was on the stop, 54. Matt Blair coming across also, but the ball is now advanced down close to the 20. It's going to bring up 3rd and a yard for the Eagles. Less than a minute to play now in the first quarter. 50 seconds, the clock runs. Minnesota 14, Philadelphia 7.
At the Minnesota 22.
2 tight ends in the game now. Bill Larson comes in along with Richard Osborne. Second back through is Wilbert Montgomery. He's got the first down and plenty more as he advances the ball down to the 17-yard line.
Montgomery, the ball.
Boy, good blocking. Good blocking that time on the left side of that line.
First down.
Tom Luke and Walters, and also Hogan going through there. Take a look at the surge right on the left side of the line.
Osborne blows away McNeil.
Incidental holding.
Only if you get caught.
Only if you get caught.
And so now the Eagles have the ball at the 17-yard line of the Minnesota Vikings as we are coming down to the gun to end the first quarter. There it is. So with the Eagles challenging for perhaps the tying score, the first quarter comes to an end here at Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. The score, the Vikings 14, the Eagles 7.
Kathy, what are you doing in the dark?
Waiting for Santa.
Ho, ho, ho.
I wonder what he'll bring me.
Well, have you been a good little girl?
Person. Good little person.
Hey, person. Merry Christmas.
Oh,
Make a dream come true this Christmas from Christmas Dreams Diamond Collection 79. tough Ford trucks. America's best-selling truck line. Ford Tough. Tough Couriers. And tough pickups. Tough four-wheelers and Broncos. And tough vans. Tough big trucks. Tough Ford trucks. America's best-selling truck line.
Who's America's greatest band leader?
America's greatest band leader is Spidell. Spidell.
America's greatest band leader is Spidell.
Spidell's elegant new band leader is Thin Line 2, the thinnest twist of flex ever. It'll make your old watch look new, or your new watch look better.
America's greatest band leader is Spidell. Spidell.
With Sonny Jurgensen, this is Don Cricky back at Bloomington, Minnesota. Snow is on the ground this December day as the Minnesota Vikings hold to a 14-7 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. We're ready for the start of the second quarter. But the Eagles are now driving a diverse offense under the guidance of quarterback Ron Jaworski. On first down, he swings it out to Carmichael. The big guy from Southern University is swept under. Sutherland came across along with Matt Blair. Actually, a loss of about a yard in that one, Sonny. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Good defensive play. They got out there in a hurry on that quick screen. Eagles have done that a lot this year, the little quick screen out to Carmichael.
They had that working real well against St. Louis last week. Now Carl Eller goes out of the game, and Mark Mullaney, who's the best pass rusher or has been from the number of sacks he's recorded, 6, is in at left end, number 77. Jaworski faking, rolling out himself, stops, looks, trouble there, and Ron Jaworski goes down after a loss of about 5 more yards.
Just a bootleg play here. Looks like he wanted to throw it, and he couldn't find anybody to open. No, the receiver didn't come across, and he didn't want to have to throw the ball back across the field. So he decided to run with it and sets up a 3rd and long because he loses yards. Mullaney comes right in and gets the sack, huh?
Yeah, Mullaney ran him down. He's got good speed. Mark Mullaney in his 2nd year from Colorado State. So now it is going to be 3rd down and about 15 for the Eagles at the 22-yard line of Minnesota. Jaworski with a deep drop, cocks and throws. Carmichael's open, touchdown Philadelphia. So twice, Jaworski strikes Carmichael with scoring throws, and the game could be tied if Michel hits the extra point.
What he does, he runs a post corner pattern. Well, he just gets it away in time because Blair was on a blitz, and look how open Carmichael is. Take a look at this. He makes a move in and just freezes Nate Wright, goes right back out. You see number 43 trying to catch up, wide open.
Michel's extra point attempt is no good. There was a penalty marker down. And there's also a Viking down. He's up. Offsides against the Minnesota Vikings, so the Eagles will get another shot at it.
Big break for the Eagles.
Big break.
How often do you miss a...
Defense, one more try.
One more time, huh?
One more time. Of course, the Eagles, Michel is normally their punter. He's been forced into place kicking because of the injury to Mickemeyer. Might have been offside again. Extra point is good. Penalty markers are down again. I think the Vikings were offside again. Let's see what it is now. If it's the Vikings, of course, the Eagles will take the good extra point.
Offsides, number 25, defense.
Why don't I just say the extra point is good? Forget all
Penalty
that.
on the kickoff.
We only have to give credit where credit is due.
All right. All right, so now with 13:38 to play in the first half, the Eagles have come back to tie the game 14-14.
You know, for too long now, bowlers have been left out of light beer commercials, and football players have been grabbing all the glory. But bowlers know light beer from Miller tastes great. We know light's got a third less calories than the regular beer. We know light's less filling. Bowlers love light just as much as football players.
That's right.
And we also love the easy opening can.
You sure do.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This is the world's most revolutionary telephone switching invention. We call it Super Switcher. It handles 4 times more calls and may save us $1 billion a year.
Just imagine that each of these cars is a long-distance call. Super Switcher could handle 5 days' traffic on a busy LA freeway.
That ought to prevent traffic jams on your long-distance calls.
Bell System Technology, keeping your phone system the best in the world.
That is how it stands, 14-14. Normally a low-scoring game when the weather's inclement here in Minnesota, but they've been coming fast. The Eagles going 74 yards in 11 plays. Here's the kickoff. This one's going to carry a little deeper. Robert Miller takes it at the 9-yard line. 15, turns to the outside. One man misses him, and finally the knockdown is made. Some Eagle coaches aren't too happy. New Orleans and San Francisco. New Orleans out in front, 10-3. Boy, there's an offside signaled against the Eagles on the kickoff, so they might come back and do it again. This is going to go right down to the final game to find out who's going to be in the playoffs, Sonny. No question about that.
Number 38, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, kick again.
Larry Barnes was offside.
The amazing thing, Don, is that you're down to the 3 games left in the schedule, and 20 teams out of 28 are mathematically still have an opportunity to get in the playoffs.
That's correct. 20 of the 28 teams are mathematically still alive as far as a playoff chance. And right now, the Philadelphia Eagles will kick it off again at their 35-yard line. The Vikings are on the road for their last 2 games. Scheduling's tough for them. They have to go to Detroit next week. That's a tough game. They play the Lions on Saturday at Pontiac, Michigan. They conclude that going to Oakland. The Green Bay Packers, their competition now in the NFC Central for that playoff spot in the divisional championship, are winning at Tampa Bay today. They're at Chicago next week. They're at Los Angeles for their final game. Scheduling is tough for the Packers also. And the Vikings, of course, with an advantage, even though they're tied with the Green Bay Packers at 7-5-1. The Vikings did win that first game. So if they come out with even records, the Vikings would be divisional champions again because of head-to-head play. Here is a high spinner that Kevin Miller takes at the 17-yard line. Across the 20, and here is the knockdown at the 32-yard line. A good play by the Philadelphia Eagles. Dennis Franks, who was shaken up earlier, comes down to make a hard hit.
Yes, we got a word on his that his knee is all right, and it's obvious from this coverage on this kick. Watch this hit right here. He comes to the right of your screen, and boom, nobody picked him up, and he makes a good tackle.
The Eagles playing their 3rd straight road game today. They'll be back at Veterans Stadium next Sunday to go against the Dallas Cowboys. Miami now putting away Washington 13-0 in the 3rd quarter. Miami fighting to get in the playoffs, and Washington in a sinking spell. Tarkinen throws, man is open. First down play as the ball is out to the 44-yard line. Ahmad Rashad makes the reception. He has been the cruncher for the Vikings. While White's caught 2 touchdown passes, Rashad has set them all up with his receiving.
Pass defense is just almost nil today. Everybody's open. It's just the footing. You can't. Receiver knows where he's going. He makes the cut, and the defender's got to catch up. That's why the receivers are all open.
So we could have a lot of points here today.
He's getting close, huh?
4 away. Penalty marker goes down, as does Chuck Foreman as he crosses the 45-yard line and gets to about the 47. Might be a call here against the Minnesota Vikings. It's an illegal procedure call. Illegal motion. Backfield in motion is the call, and so that'll set the thing back to the 40. 1st and 15. 12:38 left to play in the first half here at Bloomington. The Vikings 14, the Eagles 14.
Illegal motion, number 44, offense, still first down.
Foreman, who got the ball, left early.
So many backs anticipate the count and try to get that little edge if they can. That time he got caught.
Sammy White now deploys the slot back to the left. 3 wide receivers in the game for Minnesota. They bring the tight end way out, and they go to the run right up the middle, trying to string out the Philadelphia defense. The carry is going to be out close to the 45-yard line. Foreman carried, knocked down by Berge.
Maybe Tarkenton's throwing so much just to keep warm.
He's been running around out there, hasn't he? It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 now as the Eagles shut down the run. Minnesota has not had a very effective running game this season. They lost one of their best linemen, their left tackle. Steve Riley went out with an injury. Goodrum's been hurt. Of course, they traded away Ed White. Tarkenton throws. Bob Tucker had his hands on the ball, and he got waffled by Logan, the strong safety. That was a hard hit to the head.
It's a tough catch in here. He just trying to throw it right over the linebackers. Watch Tucker go down trying to clear the linebacker. The linebacker stays with him.
Berge's out there.
It was Reggie Wilkes, and you see where Berge is and how accurately the ball is thrown. But just as soon as he gets around, he takes a hit from Logan.
Randy Logan, who is the captain of a Michigan team, a consensus All-American there, drafted in the 3rd round by the Eagles back in '73. A hard-hitting, strong safety breaks up the play. So now Tarkenton has a tough down. 3rd and 10 at his 44. He takes a look. Lots of people running long. Tarkenton lets a rip to Rashad. That time they split him. Rashad went up, had the ball. It was knocked free. Herman Edwards was on the play along with the free safety, Shara. Here it is, Sonny.
Yes, this time he didn't make a move. Both people back there, but Edwards makes a play. You see the ball hung a little bit. Shara comes over to give him a little help.
John Shara, who helped break up the play, is now back in receiving formation for the Eagles. Back to punt is Greg Coleman. His first one, as you see, a 34-yarder. Snap was low on his first one. He might be thinking about that. Good snap. Line drive punt. This will come back at the Vikings. Shara eludes one man. He was an option quarterback, of course, at UCLA, a good running back. He gets the ball out across the 20 to the 25. Fred McNeil, 54, was down to make the play on special teams. And so the Eagles now have a chance to go ahead if they can sustain the ball, drive it downfield as the game is still tied at 14.
Zenith announces a breakthrough. A breakthrough. System 3. System 3. The best Zenith ever. The best ever. A brand new picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. And an all-new modular chassis. All new. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. The most reliable. Zenith. System 3. Zenith. System 3. It's the best Zenith ever.
Introducing Kmart 672, a powerful new car battery that's completely maintenance-free. Hook the 672 to this electric winch, and it can pull this 44-ton diesel locomotive, the Kmart 672, packed with power to deliver surefire starts. If it can pull this 44-ton locomotive, you'd better believe it can start your car. Check it out at most Kmart automotive departments across the USA, where quality auto parts are Kmart priced.
Next Saturday on CBS, the Minnesota Vikings bump heads with the Detroit Lions in a black and blue division matchup. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
14-14. As the snow blows, the winds kick up a little bit more. Temperatures dropping into the teens as the Cardinals lead the Lions 7-0 at St. Louis. New Orleans pulling away from San Francisco. Eagles with the ball, 1st and 10. Game tied 14-14. Jaworski takes a look long. He's got a man with a fly pattern. He'll have to unload. Hurry. Here's a man open. The tight end, Osborne, makes a reception, steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. He has a first down for Philadelphia. Here's Osborne that came in when Krefley went out with an injury. He's made some big plays. Last week against the Cardinals, he caught a 48-yarder that set up what turned out to be the deciding touchdown.
He could have gone long when he wanted to, then the rush just kept him from doing it by Marshall there. And Mulaney comes in. And again, Jaworski demonstrating, going back, finding that open receiver.
Carl Eller is going off the playing field. He's going to be attended to. He ran off with the trainer, Fred Zamberletti. We have 11:34 to play in the first half. 14-14, Eagles with a first down. Second back through, Wilbert Montgomery, not done yet. Wilbert squirms ahead, gets 3.
Montgomery, the ball carrier.
That word that Carl Eller has an injured thumb. Have to go to the locker room for an injured thumb.
Take it in and cut it off.
That word that Kenny Anderson's out of the game in Cincinnati. He injured his jaw. And Pisarcik also, bad day for quarterbacks. Pisarcik's out of the game with a knee.
2nd and 7 for the Eagles at their 43.
Giant quarterback, of course, they're playing the Rams. Jaworski having a big, big day. 7 of 8 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. On 2nd and 7, he takes a look long. They give him time, arcs it up. Osborne is, oh man, he looked the wrong way, turned back. Osborne was wide open at the 35, and he kind of slipped as he turned around. But the Eagles, with a very well-conceived game plan, they've got people open all the time.
Jaworski just missed him, and he's mad with himself. Because he did, he threw it behind him, and that's why it looked like Osborne was turning the wrong way, but he just threw it on the wrong side of him.
Jaworski comes into the game having completed 54% of his throws this year. He's thrown for 15 touchdowns so far, including the 2 today. He's been intercepted 12 times. The Eagles doing well on 3rd downs. They've had to come from behind twice to tie this game at 14. That's how it stands now. 3rd and 7, Philadelphia. Jaworski with a 10-yard drop, throws on the run, gets rid of it nicely. The coverage was there. Vikings saying he was grounding. But Jaworski had a man near the ball. And so now Philadelphia, as the game settled down a little bit, will have to punt the ball back to the Minnesota Vikings.
At that time, the rush again. He wasn't able to throw the ball when he wanted to, so he scrambled and just threw it away.
Number 87, Kevin Miller deep for the Vikings.
Miller, excuse me, Sonny, is back deep. Here's Michelle. Got to watch that kicking game on that field, too. Tough snap, big rush, and Michelle hits the ball very well. Kevin Miller signals for and makes a fair catch as there was about 5 Eagles closing in to waffle him if he tried to run it.
Good punt by Michelle.
Very good.
Because he got a high snap, had to go up and get it. A couple of weeks ago in New York, he went right over his head.
Right. Right now, we have a break in the action with the score still tied 14-14. Back in a moment.
Hawaii has many faces, all calling to you. Come, paddle my quiet lagoons, discover my miles of endless beach.
Come walk across my volcanoes, explore my mysterious caverns, come play in my tropical wonderland.
Come, fly my airline to Hawaii. United, we built the largest airline in the free world. Down to my friend, fly the friendly sky.
Remember this, a Chablis by any other name is not the same. Next time you wonder what white wine to drink, think of Gallo Chablis Blanc.
Seriously, absolutely. With Sonny Jurgensen, this is Don Cricky back at Bloomington, Minnesota. Our producer here today is Tom O'Neill, our director Duke Struck. We have weather conditions 20 degrees. Wind is gusting, but not that much, about 7 miles an hour tops. As Tarkin with the game tied gives off to Foreman. And his all-pro back takes the ball ahead for 10 yards and a first down. Logan came up to make the play on defense along with Bill Berge. Scores coming in. The Baltimore Colts playing the Jets tough at Shea Stadium in New York. The Jets a playoff contender. 14-13. Now Buffalo on a Joe Ferguson throw to Frank Lewis has come back to tie Kansas City 7-7.
That's the Viking first down at their 32.
Chain markers move, first down Vikings. Rashad, who's been tough, goes out in the left flank. Just inside him is Sammy White, so they put pressure on that side of the defense. Both the deep receivers there. Here's a big hit. Might be a free football. Blown dead. Very nicely played by Charlie Johnson, the nose guard, as he popped through and really put a sting on Chuck Foreman, who's up and wobbling. Watch this hit.
Take a look at this. Boy, does he ever get through here. Boy, Wilkes was coming too. They want a blitz. He did come up wobbling. Well, you know, sometimes that ground gets so hard you get stone bruises just hitting the ground.
And it's getting harder. Temperature isn't going up. 2nd and 13, they go back to the run on the draw. Foreman runs it ahead and gets out across the 35 to the 37. A good play call by Tarkenton. Good execution by the Vikings.
It was a good play call because he's been going back throwing so much. Draw play becomes more effective, and you see the running room he finds here. Obviously, the Eagles expecting the pass.
Did you see Chuck Foreman on the isolated replay? Hairston made the knockdown for Philadelphia. 3rd down and 4 is coming up. Clock is running. 2nd quarter. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the half. Vikings 14, Eagles 14. Tarkenton, quick drop. In the flat goes to Young. Catches the ball for a 1st down. Penalty marker in the Viking backfield. Might be a hold, Sonny.
Got to be a hold. I would think so because where the flag was thrown. See who the guilty party was. It may have been Frank Myers, the left tackle. Well, maybe we'll get word of who was the guilty party.
They'll assess the 10 penalty yards against the Minnesota Vikings now. Puts them in a tough position from 3rd and 4. They go to 3rd and 14.
Are we going to get word?
Holding, number 74, offense, 3rd down.
Frank Myers, the rookie left tackle. There he is.
Yes, and as Young coming out of the backfield, just a little flat pattern, makes a reception. Chased by Mahalik.
Drew Mahalik, who's had some injury problems, back in the starting lineup, 54, playing on the right side. 3-4 Philadelphia defense. Live action. Tarkenton's got to hurry, and they're after him. He gets the ball away. Incomplete pass. Good defensive play by Howard. Bob Howard came over the top. Viking crowd calls for a pass interference. This isn't even cold weather to these people. You look down the stands, half of them don't have hats on.
Well, you got to be a football fan to sit out in this weather, hadn't you?
They get out here in the snowmobile suits. Get that fuel going into them. Greg Coleman back to punt now for the Vikings. Standing at his 11, John Shara back at the 38-yard line of Philadelphia, anticipating the punt.
Good kicks to return because Coleman kicks the ball low. Could be a problem. Sometimes you out-kick the coverage.
Line drive. That time he got a good one. Got some distance, some height. Shara will return it. John Shara straight ahead. Gets it out across the 40 to the 44. And so with 8:25 left to play in the first half, the Eagles go back on offense, 1st and 10. The game is tied 14-14. Vikings scored on 2 Tarkenton touchdown throws. Jaworski threw for 2 Eagle touchdowns.
I'm the Skill Sandcat, a different breed of compact sander, a tiger for work, a pussycat to handle. I eat old oak for breakfast. With a quick belt change, I rush through rust. I go where you need me because I'm light and manageable. I'm the Sandcat, the tool it took skill to build.
$49.99 at participating dealers.
If you do it yourself and do it with pride, then do it with skill.
Introducing a whole new breed of Mustang. The all-new 79 Mustang from Ford. With a new aerodynamic design, precise handling, and Mustang performance from options of V6, V8, even a turbocharged engine. Mustang for 79, the new breed in 2-door and 3-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
See the best in boxing every week on the new look CBS Sports Spectacular starting January 6th. You'll say, You saw it on CBS Sports.
Winter has come to the great Midwest, and the ball game here on a tough, hard field is a 14-14 count. The Eagles with the ball now, 8:25 to play in the first half. First and 10, Philadelphia. Carmichael with 2 touchdown receptions at the lower portion of your screen, 17. He's been running the deep pattern. Charlie Smith out wide to the right. Handoff to Hogan. He works hard and gets yardage, going right into the heart of the Viking defense, advances the ball out to the 48-yard line.
Mike Hogan, the ball.
You notice the difficulty he had cutting then and cutting back. He kind of just shuffled along. But the Eagle line did a good job because they stayed on their feet and gave him a little running room.
Neiman and McNeil on the tackle.
L.A. and the Giants tied 10-10. What's going on at Cincinnati? Bengals putting a hurting on Atlanta.
Well, that's going to dim their playoff hopes.
That helps the Eagles at this point. 10-10, Rams and the Giants in New Jersey. Atlanta, Washington, Philadelphia, all with 8-5 records in the NFC coming into today's action. Handoff goes to Wilbert Montgomery. Puts both arms around the ball, does not want to fumble the football. We've not seen a fumble yet today. Vikings lost one briefly, but have been blown dead. And the advance is close to a first down, not quite there. It'll bring up 3rd and a yard. Vikings trying to close off the Philadelphia running game. Philadelphia going to the second back oftentimes and running right at the Viking defense. Apparently it's going to be close enough to measure here, Sonny.
They utilize that, the lead back as a blocker, and as you said, the second back just follows that, the lead block. It's very close, but not close enough.
So we have 3rd down coming up and less than a yard for the Eagles.
And the last time they had a short yardage situation like this, when they went into the 2 tight end offense, they ran over the left side. See if they come back and run it the same way this time.
2 tight ends in. Vikings bring the linebackers up in the gaps. Bang. Hogan gets ahead. Looks like he got it.
They ran to the same hole, left side again.
There was a hard hit put on when he got there, but Hogan's initial charge carrying the distance for the first down. So the Eagles move on. 1st and 10, Philadelphia. 47-yard line of Minnesota. 14-14 the score. 7:12 to play in the first half and the clock running. Osborne, 86, breaking out of the huddle. He's caught a couple of big passes. Now Carl Eller's come back out on the field. Back. Hogan turns ahead, and Hogan slips down the sideline for good yardage for Philadelphia. Advances the ball inside the 40-yard line of the Vikings and down close to the 38. Bobby Bryant, number 20, was the man who guarded him on the play, but not well, as Hogan looked like he was going to step out of bounds and shot ahead for 5 more yards, a pickup of 9.
Didn't look like he was going to get many yards originally, but then he broke around the corner and got up the sideline. Take a look at this. Looks like he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage almost. Pretty good block there on Fred McNeil, and right here he just kind of turns up and gets more yards than he anticipated.
Football, Jaworski picks it up and puts his head down and gets ahead. He might have gotten the first down. A very lucky bounce. That one hopped right up to Ron Jaworski. And where they had the ball spotted, he's got a first down.
Take a look at this. After he comes up with the ball, he's got the poise and the presence of mind to push ahead for the first down. They're going to measure for it.
Puts his head down, gets ahead for what's going to be close enough for a measurement. Looks like he might have it. The ball is advanced down to the 37-yard line. Jaworski gets a first down for the Eagles by half the length of the football. 6:38 to play now. First half. Vikings 14, Eagles 14. Eagles driving.
Good opportunity for him here.
The Eagles had to come from behind twice in this game to tie. Carl Eller goes back into the game now, and Jim Marshall, the 19-year veteran, goes out. Mark Mullaney moves over to the right end. White and Sutherland, the defensive tackles for the Vikings. Linebackers up tight on 1st and 10 Eagles. Pitch back to Montgomery. Wilbert Montgomery shoots ahead, open field. It'll be touchdown Philadelphia. One of the best runs we've seen this season. Wilbert Montgomery turning wide, cutting back against the pursuit, and he takes it in for a touchdown, and the Eagles, for the first time in the game, lead.
Now that was a darting run, John. You can use darting with that one because he does make a good cut here, doesn't he?
Did he
Cuts
dance?
back right here, makes a cut against the grain, and it's all over with then. 36 yards.
So Wilbert Montgomery starts to close in on 1,000 yards rushing this season. He'll be the first Eagle back to do it since Van Buren in 49. The Eagles go 57 yards, 6 plays, the last 36 on the carry by Montgomery. Shell's extra point is up. It's good. And the Eagles, who have been playing superior football in the recent weeks, winning their last 4 games, now rally back. And with 6:01 left to play in the first half, Philadelphia has taken the lead over the favored Vikings 21-14.
Anyone for Atari?
She beat me again?
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set.
Atari, they tell me you're fast.
Don't watch television tonight. Play it.
The secret to getting ahead in business is staying cool, because somebody's always trying to pass you up, especially if you're renting a car. You see, I can walk through airports. I have an Avis Wizard number. Cool.
Oh, Mr. Bell, that mid-sized car you reserved, we just rented the last one.
What?
So we're giving you a Buick LeSabre at the same rate.
What?
Well, that's the Avis policy.
What a wonderful thing to do.
Avis now features GM cars.
Avis, we don't know another way.
Young lady who's away from the maddening crowd off in a corner. Don't see the game too well from back there. Here is the kickoff as the Eagles have taken the lead. 21-14. Kevin Miller is hit and knocked down. Making the play for the Eagles was Louis Giamona, number 33. So the Eagles that time went 57 yards, 6 plays, and of course the payoff then the 36-yard run by Wilbert Montgomery for the touchdown. And Wilbert has now run for 67 yards today. So he's 33 away from a 1,000-yard season, and he missed 2 full games and almost all of a third. Was injured in the first quarter of another game. Jaworski has thrown the ball 10 times, has completed 7 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Harkinen having an impressive day throwing also. Gets it out to Rashad. Ahmad Rashad, fumble. Almost Eagles football. Couldn't hold on.
Came right into his hands. Watch this. The quick screen again. The throw out in the flat. Now after Wilkes goes by, he comes back and gets in the play, and that's why Rashad fumbles. Looks where the ball is. Bounces up in the air, but if he couldn't
we
quite
have
hold
those
on to
drills,
it.
those tip drills.
Frank Lemaster.
Frank would like to bite that football right now. So the Vikings keep the ball. 5:46 to play in the first half. As you see, Tarkinen with a 2nd down and 9 play. He goes to the run. Foreman up the middle. Thrown down at the 30. Chuck Foreman, very quick darting runner. Shifty runner. He can get ahead and break tackle. A 210-pound back who is about as quick as anybody on the football field. A lot of people think even when Simpson was having his great years at Buffalo, that the most valuable player in the league at his position was Foreman. For all he did for this team, he used to catch 70 balls a year. Rush for 1,000 yards. The ball is out to the 30. It is 3rd down now and 5 coming up. Very nearly, Francis Tarkenton recorded his 23rd interception as Logan had a play on the ball that came in just a little short. And now the Vikings have to punt the ball back to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Good defensive play. They anticipated that check over. The Vikings had success earlier with it, and this time Logan had positioned himself, and as you said, almost came up with an interception.
Number 21, Jarrah is
Greg Coleman ready to punt. John Shara ready to receive for the Eagles. Line drive punt. Shara will return inside the 40, 45. Shara down to the 49-yard line of the Vikings, and there the Eagles go back on offense, 1st and 10 with 4:54 left to play in the first half.
Good field position here for Jaworski.
Bowl games coming up. The Cotton Bowl, Notre Dame versus the Southwest Conference champion. And that will be, of course, New Year's Day at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And, of course, first and 10 now for the Eagles at the 49-yard line of Minnesota. Wilbert Montgomery rushes ahead to the 45-yard line. He got 4, knocked down on the play for the Minnesota Vikings by Jeff Seaman.
Washington's having some problems offensively. 16-0.
San Francisco 1-12, and looking possibly to be 1-13. The ball is spotted just inside the 45-yard line of Minnesota. It is 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Eagles. They lead the game 21-14. Second back through, Wilbert Montgomery. Nothing there, so he tries another hole. He might have a first down. He can play football.
There's your darting runner again.
Do it.
He went into a pile of people and came out the other side. It's a little crowded over here and found some open space to the right.
Check his shoes. He's got something on his feet that seem to hold to that field pretty well. So the Eagles drive on, another first down. The ball is advanced to the 39-yard line of Minnesota. And the clock is running, 3:55 to play first half. And, of course, at halftime, we'll be updating you with all the scores and highlights of the rest of the action this 14th weekend of play. Right back to Montgomery. That time, the Vikings are looking for him. Fred McNeil makes the knockdown for a loss back at the 44.
Good defensive play that time by McNeil. See the pitch back. Hogan leading the play. Doesn't make the block.
Duck White, McNeil, and
Neal comes across, gets a little help from Mulaney.
Loss of 5.
We've got some guys warming up across the way, Sonny. Bob Lee and Tommy Kramer, the backup quarterbacks, are playing catch.
2nd down and
do anything to stay warm.
They might be doing. 2nd and 14, Philadelphia. Jaworski sets, looks, screens it out. Montgomery went down over his own man, but he's not officially down. It was not a Viking who put him down.
There's Woody Peoples.
Big Woody was there, a big mountain of a guy sitting on the ground.
Take a look, the screen. You'll see the line release and go out. You see him now going out. Vikings had played it. They read the screen, but Blair overplayed it. And then Montgomery just made a very smart move by getting up, realizing it was his own man that knocked him down. 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10.
And again, the Vikings go to 5 defensive backs as a rookie from Miami, John Turner, comes into the game. Carmichael's wide to the right. Smith out in the left. Now Payne is all sitting as a wide receiver. Jaworski looks, steps in, lets her rip. Ball was tipped. Carmichael coming over the middle was open, but the ball was tipped by Matt Blair, a 6'5 linebacker who played the football very well and forces the Eagles to punt the ball back now.
Yeah, good coverage that time. The linebackers really got back. Took deep drops, and they almost had it intercepted.
Two minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Ready to punt, Mike Michel. Hit 2, averaging 39 yards. Back deep for the Vikings is Kevin Miller, the rookie. Jaworski now 8 of 12 throwing the ball for 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Uh-oh. Michel did very well to get the ball away. very well to get the ball away. A high snap and a big rush from the Vikings. The ball will be spotted out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
It's about a 12-yard kick.
Minnesota 25.
Tonight on CBS, first you'll meet some Teamsters who are taking on their own union. A tough confrontation any way you look at it. And look at it on 60 Minutes. Then comedy takes over as Edith is arrested for passing counterfeit money on All in the Family. And Vera shakes things up with some bad dreams that seem to be coming true on Alice. Kaz is next, and a hard-hitting attorney finds himself involved in a romance and a full-scale battle at the same time. And finally, a reunion with Bobby and his former college idol leads to nothing but trouble on Dallas. These are the shows to watch tonight on CBS. 2-minute warning here at Metropolitan Stadium as the Eagles lead the Vikings 21-14.
The Eagles have had the better of it here in the second quarter as far as field position, and that time they got a bad snap from center, and Michelle did an excellent job in just getting it off. It was just a 14-yard punt.
So let's see if Fran Tarkinen, who moved the Vikings very sharply through the Eagle defense the first two possessions, throwing the ball, comes back to that. He's shied away a little bit from that continuous throwing. He's gone more to Foreman on the run. And also, the Eagles have been chasing him down. They've been forcing him out.
Yeah, pretty good pass rush they've had, and the coverage has been pretty good. That last play that they had, the third down play where they had to give it up, the Eagles did a good job defensively.
Tarkinen in the flat. Ball is caught nicely by Bob Tucker. Didn't get much yardage, but he did very well to hold the football.
Well, he did. Tough catch, wasn't it?
A real tough catch. He and Tarkinen, of course, combined many receptions when they were together with the New York Giants.
Pretty good coverage again. Wilkes took a good drop, and also Howard over there.
Howard running him out of bounds. A gain of 2 yards on the play. It's second down and 8 now for the Vikings. That stopped the clock with 1:55 to play in the first half. Eagles 21, Vikings 14. Tarkinen, a home run ball. Sammy White is out there, and the Eagles intercept it.
Who's got the ball?
The Eagles have it. Bob Howard has the football. Like a tie in favor of the runner.
That's right. I thought the White was going to stay in there. It's going to be a judgment call on the official's part. Watch this interception.
Howard comes down with it, though.
Logan wanted it, too. And they start the dance. I got it. You can have it. No, you take it. No, I have the ball. Take a look at it again. We had White was open for a second, but good play on Howard's part.
The Eagles at their 30.
See what Mr. Jaworski wants to do with 1:43 left.
Almost a misconnection. Wilbert Montgomery held on to the ball, lost a yard or two, and maybe the Eagles will be happy to take their winnings to the locker room through the first half. 1:30 left to play, clock running. Vikings want a timeout now. They'd like to get the ball back.
Vikings timeout.
Hey, just this play here, either Jaworski took the wrong pattern or Montgomery crowded him a little bit. Kind of hard to tell. They just collided a little bit in the backfield before the handoff.
You know, basketball is more than dribbling, passing, and shooting. And if you need proof, watch The White Shadow, the captivating new series that leads off Monday night entertainment on CBS. Then enjoy the latest antics of those medics who prove that war can be wacky on MASH. More comedy follows on One Day at a Time when the two sisters do battle over the same boy. And finally, you'll see a Lou Grant near his wit's end when his best reporters are forced to plunge into the sex and singles scene to give the Trib a new look. That's all tomorrow night on CBS. Right now, we have a timeout on the playing field here at Minnesota. The Eagles have the ball back on an interception by Bob Howard. 1:31 shows on the clock. It'll be second down and 10 coming up when Philadelphia puts the ball in play. Snow flurries continuing.
Notice a lot of the equipment people came out on the field and to clean the cleats of the Viking player so they can get a little better footing.
For the Eagles at their 30.
Eller jumped early. Here's the penalty marker. Wilbert Montgomery runs the ball out across the 30 to the 32-yard line.
Montgomery, the ball carrier. Bobby Bryant on the tackle. There's a flag on the play.
Kind of got him offside then by changing his cadence a little bit. Offsides.
Vikings offside.
Number 81.
So instead of 2nd and 10, if the Eagles take the penalty, which I expect they will, it will be 2nd down and 5 for Philadelphia. You see the time remaining in the first half as the Eagles lead the game 21-14. They trailed 7-0, tied it at 7-7. Trailed 14-7, came back to tie it again, then went ahead. Tarkin has thrown 2 touchdown passes, both to Sammy White.
81, defense, still
With
7
Eller.
down.
And Jaworski came back to throw 2 touchdown passes, both to Carmichael. And then the 36-yard touchdown run from scrimmage by Wilbert Montgomery was the go-ahead touchdown for Philadelphia. The Vikings have been assessed 42 yards on 7 penalties in this game. Philadelphia 2 penalties for 44 yards, the one big one, the pass interference call. Jaworski pump faking, man is open, Carmichael. And the big guy gets inside the 30 and all the way down to the 28-yard line. That's a nice looking football play.
Again, the defender's helpless. He ran a little out pattern and watched Jaworski pump the ball. He thought he was going to go short. He just fakes, and Carmichael took it up the field, wide open. That timeout could backfire on the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Eagles are down in scoring territory, and after getting the opportunity, and they looked like when they started this drive, they were just going to run the clock out. They said, well, if they want to continue to play, and they're going to call timeout, we'll go get a touchdown.
Get plenty of time to get when the ball's inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Jaworski having another big day, mistake-free football, just as he played last week against St. Louis. And Carmichael with the big receptions, 3 catches for over 100 yards. Tarkenton has thrown 19 passes, completed 12 for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. He, of course, was intercepted once. That is how this last drive of the Eagles started. Eagles leading the game 21-14, 1:17 left to play in the first half. There's a tough job.
Ooh, is it cold?
Charlie Smith goes out wide to the right. Carmichael's on the left flank for Philadelphia. Jaworski looks, diving for the ball and not getting to it at the 10-yard line was the tight end Osborne. Richard Osborne going for the football, couldn't quite get there. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10 Eagles.
He was open. The ball was just a little far for him. He couldn't quite come up with it. The same pattern that he caught earlier, the little short corner pattern. White had cleared for him.
If the Eagles can put up points here, it'll make it very difficult on Minnesota in the second half because, as you were pointing out, Sonny, it gets tougher and tougher to score as the game wears on. The field conditions worsen on a cold day like this. Temperature dropping down to the mid-teens on a frozen field. Jaworski looking long, fires, man's open, down inside and into the end zone goes Charlie Smith for an Eagle touchdown. Jaworski cocks his arm, delivers the letter-high fastball, threw the ball 35 yards on a shot line.
Boy, does he ever throw this on a line. That's why they call him the rifle. And he drills Smith right at the goal line, and just Bryant took a shot at him and missed him.
Nate Wright holding on, couldn't get him. And Charlie Smith goes in for the Eagles' 4th touchdown of the first half.
Had good pass blocking then. Excellent pass blocking. Good catch by Smith. It's what you call execution.
Extra point didn't get there. It's blocked. But the Eagles have taken command of the game with 1 minute and 5 seconds left to play in the first half. They now lead 27-14. And playing in toughest weather they've been on all season, they look like a real good football team. They get better every week, Philadelphia. Only Scrooge could grouse about CBS offerings this Wednesday night. Leading the way is the Christmas favorite, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Then you're invited to share the unforgettable memories conjured up by Bing Crosby and the Christmas years. An enchanting hour with the one and only Bing, his family, and guest stars. Johnny Cash tops off this evening of seasonal delights with his Yuletide special that also features his family and famous friends. So remember, Wednesday is the night that CBS puts you in the holiday mood. Vikings aren't in much of a holiday mood right now. They've got a problem. Down 27-14. Their arch rival from the NFC Central this season, the Green Bay Packers, winning at Tampa Bay. And the Vikings trailing the Philadelphia Eagles 27-14.
Deep for the Vikings, number 35, Robert Miller. Number 87, Kevin Miller.
Way back, we have Robert Miller, and Kevin Miller is also back. As ready to kick off is Michelle for Philadelphia. Harry Washington also drops back for the Vikings. Michelle doesn't hit it too deep.
Hey,
Goes out of, you're not kidding. The Eagles coming down to cover that. That goes into the end zone. They could have a 5th touchdown.
The Eagles will kick again from their 30.
So the Eagles going in front 27-14, driving after the interception by Howard, 70 yards in 3 plays, took just 38 seconds, the big strike. Jaworski's 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The first 2 going to Harold Carmichael, this one to Charlie Smith, who caught the big scoring throw last week against St. Louis.
Yeah, I think you're right, Don, that they seem to be improving each week. They get better, and we've seen them the last couple of weeks. And early in the year, they had trouble offensively, and today they come up here in these conditions, and you're seeing a lot of offense. So they could be a team that, looking ahead to those playoffs, they're going to be tough.
I think it's more of a consideration now, not that they'll make the playoffs, but how far they'll go. They might be real tough. They've been beating good teams. That's the penalties. Just 2 against Philadelphia, as we were mentioning, the pass interference call. That was resulting a little bit later in a touchdown throw. Tarkinen coming up and delivering his 2nd touchdown pass of the day. 1:05 left as Michelle kicks off again. He's having a problem. Kicks it out of bounds again. He'll try it now from the 25-yard line.
Kick again from the 25.
Well, he is having a problem.
What you do is kick it down the middle of the field on the one hop.
He should have the tid. He's kicked 2 out of bounds on the right side. I'd move the ball to the left hash mark.
It's like a tee shot, right? You want to keep it left, tee it up left.
Are they going to bring in somebody else to kick it?
Now, Michelle's still out there. Everybody's giving him some advice. Most of it bad, I'm sure, since they've never kicked off. 1:05 still showing on the 2nd quarter clock after the Eagles' 4th touchdown of the first half, and they lead the game 27-14. Jaworski has thrown for 3 scores.
Difficulty could be because of being a sidewind kicker, he has to plant that left foot, and he may not be getting planted properly.
He banged that one, and Miller will take it from the 28, 40, goes out of bounds to the 44. So Tarkinen's going to have a minute to work. And we might have another penalty marker down.
I think we do. We got a late hit out of bounds. It's going to help the situation for Tarkenton. Personal foul call for hitting Miller out of bounds.
Can't do that.
Talking about that kicker, Michelle being a sidewind and approach, the left foot really has to get planted on that kick. We listen to Dick Jorgensen here.
Personal foul, late hit, out of bounds, number 81, defense, first down.
Orrin Middlebrook hit late. So the Vikings have just a minute to work with, 61 seconds. As you see, 2 timeouts. Tarkinen looks, timing pattern in the flat. Rashad loses the ball. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 43-yard line of Philadelphia.
Tarkinen threw that upfield. The ball got away from him a little bit because he pulled Rashad up the field, and Edwards had almost a shot at picking it off.
Only used 4 seconds, so it's now 2nd down and 10 with 57 seconds left to play in the half. Harkinen throws. Ricky Young makes the reception and moves very close to a first down. Dancing the ball down close to the 32-yard line of Philadelphia.
And the Vikings very quickly call a timeout. Here comes the house cleaning crew. Both teams coming out. They'll work on their cleats.
Rand Tarkin goes over now. Bud Grant now in his 12th season as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, the 4th best record in National Football League history as a coach. Over 70% of the games he's coached with Minnesota, they've won. There's National Football League action on CBS next Saturday. The Vikings are just short of it. Now they got it. They got the first down. Minnesota at Detroit. It'll be tough. The Lions are out of any playoff contention, but they've been playing good football lately. Then regional action on Sunday. Dallas and the Eagles at Philadelphia. St. Louis plays the Giants. Washington and Atlanta. Green Bay at Chicago. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. All the action beginning with the NFL Today pregame show with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Irv Cross a half hour before kickoff. Harry Washington now goes in as the Eagles split their defense, get the backs way back. In the flat, the throw goes to Rashad, steps out of bounds with 46 seconds to play, and he has the ball inside the 30-yard line of Philadelphia. Eagles leading the game 27-14. Sonny?
Oh, come on.
We're tied now.
Yes. It's what records are for, right? To be broken?
All right. Made to be broken. The Philadelphia Eagles with 46 seconds left trying to defend against the Vikings. Tarkinen with that quick short passing game, working very hard to get the ball down in scoring range. Here he goes again. Throws. Rashad standing open. Eagle defenders playing way off.
There goes my record.
So Fran Tarkinen has just completed 289 passes this season.
Don't rub it in. Yep.
I just announced it to the fans. They're looking up here at you, Sonny.
I'm gonna make a comeback.
Wait a minute. The play's coming back. He
That's
caught
right.
it out of bounds. The record has not been broken.
I'm still alive, huh?
For one more play.
He'll never do it.
Foreman has it, and he's got more as he's inside the 20 with a first down. The record's broken, and now the Vikings are challenging for a touchdown. Clock running, 29 seconds left to play. Harking it into the end zone, overthrown, and with 19 seconds left, it'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 17-yard line. Bob Howard covering on the play. So the Eagles still hold to the 27-14 lead, but the Vikings challenging now as we come down the stretch in the what's got to be one of the longest first halves of the year.
There it is. That doesn't count. It's just a check down.
Then Foreman wasn't done yet. He kept it going, got it inside for the first down. Now 2nd down and 10. 19 seconds left. The Eagles playing their defenders way off the line, looking for Tarkin to throw to the end zone. Here's a throw. Ahmad Rashad. Very close to a score, but not quite there. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
He'd have had it down a little bit. He'd have had a touchdown.
He had Herman Edwards beaten. 14 seconds left in the half.
What we said at the beginning is a tough day for offense. And Oh, that's all we've seen is great offense.
It's like the old Southwest Conference. We've seen 400 passes. The Vikings break the huddle. Rashad goes wide to the left. Washington is wide right. Sammy White is wide right as Tarkenton takes a drop. He has time. Now they flush him. Dumps it up. It's going to be intercepted by Berge. So that threat has ended, but Berge's not done. Here comes Berge. He wants all of it. Bill Berge comes across the 40. Out to the 50. And down he goes as the first half ends. So the Vikings challenge, but again, the Eagle defense holds, intercepts, and the first half ends on a Berge interception and subsequent return.
When I press this button, a new era in photography begins. Polaroid introduces Sonar Automatic Focusing. This camera sends out inaudible sound waves that bounce off the subject and return in a split second. The lens automatically rotates to perfect focus. You can get a precisely focused picture every time in minutes at the touch of one button. The new Sonar One Steps from Polaroid, the world's simplest camera.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's it say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A third less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boo Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I bought the family's first Pinto because I liked its look.
It looked like a good buy.
But I took Mom's Pinto to college.
So we bought another Pinto.
And I took that to college.
So we bought 2 Pinto wagons.
His and hers.
Now we're a 4 Pinto family.
Join the Pinto family, over 2 million strong and growing. The 79 Pinto. Compare. It may be the best small car buy in America.
We're a 4 Pinto family now, but it's just a matter of time.
All right.
Hi, my name's Hal Needham. You know, for 22 years, I was a stuntman. Some people said king of the stuntmen. Of course, that's a rumor that I started. 2 years ago, I started directing. I did a little show called Smokey and the Bandit, a show called Hooper, and now I'm doing a show called The Villain, and it stars Mr. Kirk Douglas. It's going to be a winner. But in spite of our busy schedule, we're going to take time out to watch the stuntman competition right here on CBS Sports Spectacular. Who knows? Next year, I might come out of mothballs and give it a whirl myself. What do you think about that, cowboy?
If you do, I'll be right in front of my set watching it on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Back live in New York, I'm Brent Musburger, and when the day began, I wondered why the Cincinnati Bengals could be favored over the Atlanta Falcons when the Falcons were driving for a playoff spot. And now we all know the Bengals are a better football team than the Falcons, at least in Cincinnati on this Sunday. 23-7 Cincinnati. Green Bay and Tampa Bay inside of 2 minutes. The Packers keep their playoff hopes very much alive because the Vikes may lose. Now, check the next score. Los Angeles 17, Giants 10 in the fourth. Jane, a lot of talk about fans burning tickets, the disgruntled Giant fans. What do you have on that today?
Well, Brent, there were only 100 tickets actually burned outside the stadium, but I guess some of the other fans decided to show their disappointment with the Giants in another way. We had 13,996 no-shows at the stadium. 62,000 people did show up out of 76,000 tickets that were sold.
All right, Jane, and the other team in New York is beginning to show some life, too, because they lead Baltimore right now, 24-16 in the fourth. And what happened to the Washington Redskins? Being shut out by Miami, 16-0. Detroit and St. Louis, 7-0 at the half. The Cardinals are up by a touchdown. And in the key game from a playoff standpoint, it is now the Eagles 27, Minnesota 14 at the half. And San Francisco and New Orleans, 17-10. The Saints ahead. They're midway through the third quarter already in that game. Buffalo and Kansas City are tied at 7 in the third. All right, let's go live right now to Giant Stadium. We will show you a third down for the LA Rams. 17-10. The Rams have just recovered a fumble. Now they are driving again inside the 20. This is live. Hayden's without McCutcheon. He's without Capoletti. Good blocking. And Jesse is the receiver on that side. Very close to a first down. They will get a first down. Now wait, they say he doesn't control the ball, and Jesse's upset. Throw the flag, Irv Cross. March off unsportsmanlike conduct against Jesse.
You can understand why he might be upset. That looked like a clean catch. Unless there was a penalty somewhere else along the line, there might be some. We'll see right now what the referee decides. He certainly caught the ball.
Well, you get a good angle of it right here, Irv.
Because to go out of the picture, from what we can see, he has the ball. He's under control now. The question is, did he have it when he hit the ground? Maybe he was juggling the ball.
Well, he could have lost it from that side. We weren't looking. So here's Corral to attempt a field goal. 17-10. This would put the Rams in command by 10. And they've got it. So they've got about 4 minutes to play now in the Meadowlands. And we can show you some action from earlier in the game. The Rams found themselves in a struggle after they were moving quickly in the first half. The Giants were able to mount a rally and climb right back into the game. Right here, Pisarcik's pass is deflected. Youngblood's got it for L.A., and he battles his way down to the 2-yard line of the Giants, setting up a touchdown run by Cullen Bryant. Youngblood enjoying a tremendous season for a linebacker this year. Here's Bryant, swing right. Charlie Young on a block on that side. It was 10-0 Rams. But then Pisarcik hit Shirk for the touchdown, 10-7. It is now 20-10, 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go. And here is Dean. Sideline picked off by Thomas. He dashed in for the Rams. And that really was the critical touchdown there, Irv.
Brett, I'm watching this Atlanta Falcons-Cincinnati Bengal game, folks, and the score late in the fourth quarter is Cincinnati 30, Atlanta 7. Pete Johnson just rambled 53 yards for a touchdown, and this is second quarter action right here. The Steve Bartkowski, number 10 for the Falcons, puts his club in position to score as he hits Wallace Francis. A few plays later, Ricky Patton does the rest from the 5-yard line, goes in, and they take a 7-3 lead. Kenny Anderson gets his club rolling as he hits number 82, Billy Brooks, and Brooks crosses the middle here, and as he does, finally plows his way upfield down to the 5-yard line, and Pete Johnson, the big fullback, does the rest. A couple of plays later, and Cincinnati takes a 10-7 lead. Now, Bartkowski tried to get his club back by throwing the ball, but he had some trouble. His first pass, number 32, Scott Perry, picks off, and he goes all the way the other way, and Cincinnati scores again. The score at this point, 16-7. The third quarter, Bartkowski gets the ball again, tries to go through the air. He does, but picked off by Dick Geron this time. He goes the other way. Cincinnati 23-7, and just a few minutes ago, Pete Johnson rambled 53 yards for another score, and it's Cincinnati 30, Atlanta 7.
Irv, at least for the time being, the Green Bay Packers are going to be in first in the NFC Central. I say for the time being because the Vikings are still out. The Packers are inside of a minute right now. They lead the Buccaneers by a score of 17-7, so they would have one more victory. You're watching Turdell Middleton barge to the 10-yard line. Whitehurst then threw the touchdown pass to rookie James Lofton from Stanford. It was 7-0. George Ragsdale got the Bucks on the board with this touchdown run. It was 10-7. Now a half minute left in this game. Here is Whitehurst backing up and again looking for Lofton. Interference in the end zone. First down on the 1. And again, it is 17-7 in the fourth. And, of course, the Eagles are in command against the Vikes, sir.
It's good news for Philadelphia Eagle fans. 27-14 at halftime. And, of course, in a day when you have a lot of snow and ice and the weather's cold, you think that both clubs will keep the ball on the ground. Not so. You've watched it and you've seen it, so you can believe it. Fran Tarkenton early in the ball game gets his club going through the air. Goes to Sammy White for a touchdown, a 63-yard drive. But Ron Jaworski has his own version of how to score quickly. He goes to Harold Carmichael, a score for the Eagles, and the score is tied 7-7. Carmichael's now caught passes, at least one pass in 94 consecutive games. Tarkenton comes back through the air. Sammy Wright, touchdown, 14-7 Minnesota. But this time, Jaworski goes to his big target, Harold Carmichael, another touchdown, 14-14. Keeping the ball on the ground, the Eagles flip out to Wilbert Montgomery, and he goes off his right tackle, a 36-yard touchdown, and the Eagles take a 21-14 lead. Jaworski gets his club going late in the second quarter with a pass, a quick post here to Charlie Homeboy Smith. He goes in, touchdown, the score, 27-14 at halftime, Philadelphia.
And I think Don Criqui was right. It was the longest half of the year. And the NFL Today will continue on CBS right after these messages from your local stations.
Jackson's a young kid with a grown-up problem, and it takes Coach Reeves and the whole team to straighten him out. The White Shadows, starring Ken Howard, tomorrow at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on CBS.
Halfway through the 14th week of the season, 20 teams still remain in contention for the NFL playoffs. Professor Irwin Corey stopped by the NFL Today earlier in the morning and made it perfectly clear, I think, as to exactly which two teams would meet in Super Bowl 13. Professor.
Last year, we had a heck of a time trying to figure out who was going to be the wild card team from the NFC and the AFC. To compound matters, now we've got two wild cards from the AFC and the NFC. Well, who best to straighten us out on this than Professor Corey? Professor Corey.
We feel that we can explain this confusion only in the simplest fashion. The AFC and the NFC.
Professor, we're going into the 14th week of the season. 20 of the 28 teams are eligible for a playoff spot. Which two are going to the Super Bowl?
The two teams that will go to the Super Bowl will represent the areas that they come from. We cannot take any outsiders. It would only be within the confines of the latitude and longitude.
Well, does it matter which latitude or longitude they're in?
It's based only on two specific ingredients. The team garnishing the most points within the given framework of their particular field will represent that area.
Does that mean Oakland will represent the West?
Oakland will represent, Oakland will represent the central part. See, the West goes to the Central, and the Central goes to East, and the East goes to where the West might have been. They say out West, it's different.
Oh, I see.
Like the Rams will be known as the Anaheim Rams, different from L.A. Rams, where they only have two horns, where the other Rams have three. Now, here we find out Oakland 8-5. Does that necessarily mean that Oakland will represent the West? It means they might primarily be in contention. But the AFC and the NFC, comprising the AFL or the NFL, must, within the guidelines, accept the responsibility.
Which two teams do you think will go to the Super Bowl? We have to know.
Well, when you say we have to know, you're acting like a child. For what purpose? What purpose must one know? The amusement is based on the fact that we are in a quandary, that we anticipate with anxiety the hope and the aspirations of those who seem to diligently get into there. Now, we find that the gridiron itself, which is comprised of 12 different stripes, indicating that there must have at least been something to do with...
Professor, the lady has a question.
Professor Corey, that's the whole basis of the Super Bowl. We have to have two teams.
Well,
we don't have a
no,
Super
this
Bowl
is
game.
not written, because to have two teams would only indicate that these are the only adversaries that are left within 28 of those who have accepted the responsibility to go out there and fight, do or die. You know that most of these teams
Professor
have
Corey, thank you very much. That straightens this out for all of us. Professor Corey, we
and they
appreciate
are a
it.
scrappy little group. They have come from the past, indicating that they must show some signs of virility on their own part. We cannot accept without diligence those who represent the East. The East is one of the most greatest parts.
Cotton keeps America comfortable.
Oh, honey.
Yeah?
I got you some new dress shirts because of the business trip.
Hey, nice.
They're made of a cotton-rich fabric called Natural Blend. The Natural by Manhattan. 60% cotton. Extra cotton, extra comfort.
Really comfortable.
Plus, they're durable press. You won't even have to iron them.
Thanks, honey. Have a good trip.
If you're looking for comfort, look for the seal of cotton. The more cotton, the better you feel.
Radio Shack is loaded with exciting, sensible, low-cost gifts, like the Science Fair 150-in-1 electronic project kit. Kids can learn about electronics by building safe battery-operated radios, transmitters, computer circuits, electronic sound effects, even LED digital readouts. They get 150 different gifts they can enjoy long after Christmas is over. The gift-priced Science Fair kit, only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Football League. The score at the half here at Metropolitan Stadium, Bloomington, Minnesota. Philadelphia Eagles, an underdog team, coming in 27. Minnesota Vikings, 14. I'm Don Cricky with Sonny Jurgensen. And Sonny, you were commenting how the Eagles are looking better every week. They are. Do you think the Vikings can get back in this game?
I think so, with conditions the way they are, and you've seen how open the receivers have been on both teams. And as much as Tarkington puts the ball up, I think they have the capabilities of coming back.
But the Eagles are a very interesting story. As you pointed out at the outset, Dick Vermeil, their coach, said he's not even sure if they're a playoff caliber team. I got to think he's thinking they are right now. I think everybody that's watched the Eagles over these past few weeks, they're looking for their 5th straight victory, has to really consider this team one of the better clubs in the entire league right now.
It's improving, which is a good thing about it, and I think he likes what he sees. And talking to their coaches, they see improvement every week, and I think the major improvement in their entire football team has to be Ron Jaworski's play.
And, of course, a very important final in for Viking fans from Tampa Bay. Green Bay Packers 17, the Buccaneers 7, so depending on the outcome of this game, unless the Vikings get back in it, they'll be a game behind the Packers in the NFC Central Division. A lot of pressure right now on the Vikings to get back in this, and we're ready now for the start of the second half as you look at the first half statistics. Philadelphia with almost 300 yards total offense. Very impressive.
You see the Vikings' inability to run, only 42 yards rushing in the first half. It's an interesting stat, isn't it?
It is. Surprised me. The Eagles leading the league in ball control throughout the course of the game. Back deep for Philadelphia. Louis Giamona is back, and he's getting a couple hopper coming back and gets by him. Little Louis got to pick it up. He's working. Gets a couple of blocks, and then he's knocked down as the Vikings come out firing.
On the return.
Fred McNeil down to make a big special teams hit for Minnesota. And the Eagles go on offense, 1st and 10 to open the third quarter. Sonny?
And backed up, too. That was had an opportunity to cut that ball off and be in much better field position. It's probably the worst possession they've had backed up today. Back on about the 12-yard line. See what changes they made in their game plan and any alterations in it.
Well, of course, the Eagles with a 13-point lead would like to just keep those chain markers moving. Run the ball if they can. Keep the clock going. They go to the run, and Wilbert Montgomery takes it out across the 10-yard line, close to the 14. The strong safety, Phil Wise, knocked him down. There is a final in from RFK Stadium, Washington. The Miami Dolphins shutting out the troubled Washington Redskins 16-0, as the Redskins have now lost 6 of their last 8 football games.
What happened to the offense?
For the Eagles at their 15.
No points at all today.
First time they've been shut out in a long time.
2nd down and 8 now for Jaworski and the Eagle offense. Mike Hogan running hard, and he gets it out to the 17-yard line. And I'm sure, Sonny, that in the locker room, word came to the Vikings that the Green Bay Packers have won. So the Vikings know that a good part of their season's on the line, maybe all of it, with the outcome of this game today. Still have 2 to play, both clubs, after this, and they both have tough scheduling. Vikings on the road twice. That's Detroit at Oakland.
And Green Bay has L.A.
Here's another final. The New York Jets prevail over the Baltimore Colts 24-16. Jets keeping their playoff hopes alive with an 8-6 record. Up the middle, Wilbert Montgomery runs hard. He had to advance the ball to about the 22-yard line. Jeff Seaman, the middle linebacker, knocked him down. It'll be close to a first down. They might measure. Montgomery and Hogan have done all the ball carrying for Philadelphia in this game. The offensive lineman for the Eagles, Stan Walters, is the left tackle. Jerry Sizemore, the right tackle. Tom Lucan starting for Wade Key at left guard. Woody Peoples, the right guard. Guy Morris is the center. Osborne, the tight end. The wide receivers, Carmichael and Smith.
That's an Eagle first down at their 22.
The Eagles get it.
Just enough. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to keep that clock moving. They can grind it out and not have to put it up.
First and 10 for the Eagles at their 22.
Viking defenders dig in now, looking to get the football back. The pitch back, Montgomery. Met chin high on a driving tackle, and Wilbert Montgomery got very little, if anything at all, as he advanced the ball right back to the line of scrimmage, the 22. First man up to meet him was the strong safety, Phil Wise.
Hannon and Wise on the tackle.
Kansas City holding to a 4-point lead over Buffalo in the fourth quarter.
Montgomery's got about 82 yards now and 16 carries.
Gives him 982 for the season. Charlie Smith comes wide to the left. On the right flank, Harold Carmichael, and Ken Payne is also out there. Handoff goes to Hogan. Straight ahead, Hogan gets the ball to the 29-yard line.
Hogan, the ball carrier.
So the Eagles, with a 13-point lead, come out running the football at Minnesota to open the third quarter. It's 27-14 the score. With 12:30 left to play in the quarter. Again, Phil Wise, a hard-tackling, strong safety, was on the play, along with James White. Across the defensive front of the Vikings, Carl Eller, Doug Sutherland, James White, and Jim Marshall. Blair, Seaman, and Neal back the line. John Turner, a rookie, is now at the left corner. Bob Bryant at the right corner, so Jaworski might be looking at that rookie. He throws the ball out, incomplete. Timing pattern, they tried to go to the tight end. Osborne swinging out.
They had him open, he just missed him. Threw it out in front of him a little bit. Have to kick it away.
Number 87.
Kevin Miller drops back deep. There he is, number 87, first-year player, standing back at his 35-yard line. Michelle, the Eagle punter, back at his 15, as the yard lines are being obliterated now by the continuing snow that's fallen. Here is Miller, looking. Finds a little crack, puts the ball ahead to the 35, 36-yard line, and there the Vikings go on offense, first and 10. So Fran Tarkenton and the Minnesota Vikings trailing 27-14 with word in from Tampa Bay that Green Bay has won, come out for the first time with the ball in the third quarter.
By the time this day is done, you'll turn a mountain of canvas and a truckload of living dynamite into one of the world's oldest fantasies, the circus. Now comes Miller time. Time for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
You've got the time. We've got the beer. Miller beer.
Come fly with me. Let's fly away.
Come fly with me in one magnificent flying machine, the 79 Thunderbird.
I love its luxurious cockpit.
Fly with a V8 engine.
Power steering and power brakes, all standard. Glide in great style with wrap-over roof and opera windows at a down-to-earth sticker price.
79 Thunderbird. What a way to fly.
At your Ford dealers.
Don't miss the thrilling Hollywood stunt competition on the new-look CBS Sports Spectacular starting January 6th. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
We are back at Metropolitan Stadium. The big Viking trying to get this crowd and the football team moving as they trail the Eagles 27-14. Foreman runs, gets the ball to the 40. Chuck Foreman ahead for a 4-yard gain. On the stop for the Philadelphia Eagles. Inside linebacker Bill Berge and the middle guard Charlie Johnson. Dennis Harrison, 68 is the left end. Johnson, the middle guard. 78, Carl Hairston, the right end. Finals coming in now from the east. The Rams just prevail over the Giants 20-17. Rams extend their season record to, 11-3. They're not without problems internally.
And winning their division so easily could be a problem going into the playoffs for them.
Having that good record might mean they'll be on the home field. Handoff straight ahead, and the Eagles shut down the run at the 40. A gain of less than a yard. It'll bring up third down and about 6 now. Carl Hairston fills on the run, makes the stop on Foreman. Detroit and St. Louis now tied 7-7 that game in the third quarter.
3rd and 6 for the Vikings up their 40.
Counter play, and Foreman breaks open, gets the ball across the 45 out to the 48. It is a first down for the Vikings.
Good call. Watch this. Little sprint out. Comes right back up the middle. Good call because they were looking for the pass and had about 3rd and 5 situation, and they pick up the first down.
Hairston ran him down. Foreman goes out now. Robert Miller, a big back, comes in. He's the lone setback. Tarkinen has people set to either side. Reverse play. Running with the football is Ricky Young. Crashing into the Eagle defense, he gets across midfield and down to the 46-yard line of Philadelphia. Pick up of 5 yards on the play, 6 yards. Dennis Harrison made the stop.
Tarkington was leading that play, and he does his best. Watch this. When he leads a play, he can't find a soul to block, and amazing in the quarterback. He got right out in front of the play and didn't block anybody.
Little matador block.
Yeah.
Wave him on by. So the Vikings moving the ball now in their first possession of the third quarter. Here is the handoff to Robert Miller, and the Eagles fail, knock him down for a loss on the play. Actually, no gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4. Charlie Johnson, the Vietnam veteran who plays middle guard for the Eagles, 65, comes off the center block of Mick Tingelhoff to make the hit. Tingelhoff at center for the Vikings. The guards are Goodrum and Wes Hamilton. Yeri and Myers are the tackles. Bob Tucker the tight end. Rashad and Sammy White the wide receivers. White has caught 2 touchdown passes. The first 2 scores for the Vikings in this game.
3rd and 3 for the Vikings at the Eagles 45.
Last time in this situation, he ran a draw play.
Swings it out this time to Robert Miller. It's a first down for the Vikings. Very tough yard as McCalloch made a hard hit. Lemaster did too, and also on the play for the Philadelphia Eagles was Ken Clark. But the Vikings move ahead again, and now they have the ball inside the 40-yard line of Philadelphia. It's 1st and 10 Vikings. 8:25 to play third quarter. The clock is running, and the Eagles lead the game 27-14.
That was a good smart call. A little screen pass there, 3rd and 4 to pick up the first down.
The ace, Mr. Foreman, is back in the game. He's sneaking down the middle, looking to get open. Here is a throw, and it's broken up. Going for the ball was Ahmad Rashad. The coverage was good. There's no penalty marker.
Boy, good play by Herman Edwards then to knock that ball away. Watch this. Little play action fake going back behind the quarterback. He has Rashad coming across the middle, and watch the play by Edwards. One of the best defensive plays we've seen by a defensive back.
Got there right on time, and that'll bring up now 10 yards to go. 2nd down and 10 for the Vikings just inside the Eagle 40-yard line. Tarkinen throws, and his tight end Tucker has the ball, loses it. Robert Miller catches it. It's a good play.
Looked like a forward lateral.
It really did look like a forward lateral. Of course, now under the new pass rules this year, consecutive receivers on the same team can touch the ball with no defender in between, and it's good. Watch.
Watch this. See if he laterals it or the ball is jarred loose.
I think it gets jarred. He gets popped pretty good. Wait now. Did you see something, Mr. Jorgensen?
I don't know. It could have been a forward lateral. Watch.
21.
Thank you very much.
Back to live action. Vikings go to the run, advance the ball inside the Eagle 20-yard line. Robert Miller made the carry, and Bill Berge made the hit. That missed extra point earlier could loom largely.
Certainly could. Look at this final.
Man alive. Cincinnati now winning, what, its 2nd game?
Over a team is trying to get in the playoff.
Atlanta's record goes to 8-6 now in the NFC. Tarkinen pumps, looks either way, stands in, Throws to the end zone. Good coverage, incomplete. He's looking at Rashad, and Herman Edwards was covering again.
Receiver on the White. White slipped. You see Fran look left. Now he's coming back. He wants to throw to White and couldn't do it, so he went back to Rashad. Again, good coverage by Herman Edwards. Right with his receiver.
Herman's got a tough job today, though. That Rashad not only gets open, but if it's near him, he'll catch it. Ricky Young now goes out.
That's where White slipped. Right there.
Live action. Tarkenton looks, swings it out. Catching the ball is Foreman. And Chuck Foreman has the ball all the way down inside the 10-yard line. He is down to the 8. Bill Berkey finally got him. Excuse me, Sonny.
Good blocking that time by Charlie Goodwin. Goodwin pulled out, led the screen, and then you see that patented type run of Chuck Foreman. Just as soon as he catches it, watch him wheel here, spin back to the inside. Breaks the tackle of LeMaster, and Berkey has to come over. Keeps him from going in for the touchdown.
And so from the 8, the Vikings with 4 downs to take it in, and Foreman brings it closer, getting the ball down to the 5-yard line. Rather, Ricky Young on that carry down to the 5.
Foreman, the ball carrier.
It was Chuck Foreman.
Yes, he followed the block of Young right in behind him.
Charlie Johnson on the tackle.
Tough territory. This is where Fran likes to sprint out. Look for Bob Tucker.
Tucker, the tight end, the line to the right, and that's just what he's doing. Here's Tarkenton on the rollout. Takes a look. Ricky Young, touchdown, Vikings. Ricky Young comes out of the backfield, gets a step on linebacker Reggie Wilkes, and the Vikings are right back in it with 5:13 to play in the third quarter.
Got a little pass here. He had him isolated on Reggie Wilkes, the linebacker. And you see, he just breaks the plane of the goal line.
So the Vikings go 64 yards in 13 plays, a 6-yard touchdown throw, Tarkenton's third scoring pass of the day. And now the extra point attempt. Danmeyer will kick it. Paul Krause will hold. That one might have been tipped, but it didn't get through. It's no, is it good? It is good now. And there's a penalty marker down. Let's see what we have.
See what they're going to do here.
Extra man on the field, and so the extra point is good, and the Vikings are back to within 6. It's 27-21. And we'll be back as the Eagles will take the kickoff in a moment.
3 unidentified 19-inch color TV pictures, each the best of its brand. Over 1,000 people saw them and picked the one with the best overall picture. They didn't pick America's biggest seller, Zenith, or the second biggest, RCA. Over 60% picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset. Over 60%. We're not the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture. The Sylvania Superset.
As a State Farm agent, when people come into my office and sign an application for insurance, my job is just beginning. There's no sitting back and putting the file away.
Agent Vince Grammarosa talks about State Farm service.
We're continually reviewing their protection. We're continually talking to them. It's on a personal service basis from day to day, month to month. We never forget the people.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Bloomington, Minnesota. The Vikings, trailing 27-14 at the half, have now rallied back. Their first possession of the third quarter, they drove down the field. They've just scored. Here's the kickoff. Danmeyer hits it down to Giamona. From the 3, goes to the 10, 15, 20. And Louis Giamona fights his way out across to the 25-yard line. And there the Eagles go on offense, 1st and 10. No longer can they play conservative football looking to run the clock because they don't want the Vikings to get the ball back. The missed extra point earlier could ultimately decide this game.
That's right, Don. They're going to have to come back out and put it up this time because they don't want to give the ball right back to the Vikings because the momentum has shifted in their favor.
San Francisco's coming back somewhat at New Orleans, trailing 17 to 13. It was 17-3. Wilbert Montgomery working hard, and Wilbert gets out across the 30. He's to the 32, a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5, James White. Third-year tackle, 265 pounds, made the hit. The Cardinals now leading Detroit 14-7.
Cardinals playing a little better too, aren't they?
Get the Cardinals what you want them when you got them right off your schedule. They're ready to beat anybody.
2nd and 5 for the Eagles at their 31.
Jaworski, who had one of his most impressive first halves, might be pitching before long. At 2nd down and 5, Jaworski takes a look. Pump fake, home run ball. Going for it is Carmichael, broken up nicely. Tom Hannon, the free safety, came across to help out the cornerback, Bobby Bryant. Let's watch it again now, Sonny.
He throws into coverage here. He didn't see the Tommy Hannon coming over. Hannon should have had the interception. Watch this. Ooh, almost. Made a good play on the ball. That time, I don't think Ron saw him. Didn't think he was going to get the double coverage. He thought he was going to have single coverage.
So now a big down for Jaworski and the Eagles. It is 3rd down and 5. Jaworski's going to run for the first down. He's got it. Down he goes as he picks up just enough for the first down. Ron Jaworski takes the slide at the 38-yard line. 1st and 10, Philadelphia.
Well, he just did get the first down, didn't he?
But there's a penalty marker down, Sonny, in the Eagle backfield.
I think we're going to get a holding call.
Vikings are very happy about something. They're cheering. Tampa Bay.
Shows you what kind of confidence they have in their defense. Instead of making it be 4th down, and Philadelphia would have to kick the ball away, but they're going to take the penalty and give them 3rd down again just to keep backing them up.
In the defensive unit of the Minnesota Vikings, Carl Eller is the left end. Playing the right end right now is Mark Mullaney. Number 77, a good pass rusher. The tackles are James White and Doug Sutherland. Bryant and a rookie, John Turner, are at the corner. Hannon and Wise the safeties, but Wise comes up tight. Hannon's playing off. The cornerbacks play way off now on 3rd and forever. 3rd and 25. They go to the run. Wilbert Montgomery is tripped up as he crosses the 15-yard line. And again, a penalty marker is down, Sonny, in the Eagle backfield.
It is. They're going to penalize him again. Gee. They had something like 2 penalties in the first half against the Eagles. They're coming out here and they're losing their poise a little bit. And it's it definitely hurt them. They may refuse this penalty, make them kick it away. Number 76, offense, decline, 4th down.
Sizemore, 76, has got a big problem with Carl Eller. When the big guy wants to play, Eller's tough to hold out. He wants to play right now.
See that Philadelphia only had about 2, and they've 8 penalties now.
There is Kevin Miller, backbeat for the Minnesota Vikings. Ready to punt for the Eagles. Michelle. Good punt by Michelle. Drives it downfield. Miller takes it back at his 39. Starts up. He's down at the 48-yard line, and here comes Tarkin into the Minnesota Viking offense. Trailing 27-21. 3:47 left to play in the game. So this is going to be a good one. After the Eagles build up the big first half lead, the Vikings now come back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we challenged hotshot Jimmy Powell to play the new Mattel Electronics basketball game. Jimmy doesn't know. Inside is a tiny thinking computer that plays like a whole team of pros.
Got this. All right.
All right. Jimmy's got the ball. The computer defends the bucket. He fakes left, dribbles right, shoots, blocked. Now, clock's running. He breaks inside. Powell scores. New Mattel Electronics pocket basketball with the built-in computer.
Hey, who's in there?
Wherever you may roam, you'll find us near your home.
Oh, hi, it's me again, hosting and tasting more posters. This time it's for the first annual Delco battery sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to buy a Freedom battery at a special sale price.
Thanks, Delco.
Wherever you see this poster, look for it in your neighborhood for a great price on a battery you can trust. Thanks, Delco. Well, you'll be saying thanks, Delco, too.
Next Saturday on CBS, the Minnesota Vikings bump heads with the Detroit Lions in a black and blue division matchup. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
The Vikings have the ball back. This is Don Criqui with Sonny Jorgensen. Snow falling here at Minnesota. Tarkinen at the controls. Pitch back goes to Foreman. Running hard, running wide. The Eagles come over and throw him out of bounds. Coming across to make the play was Len Burnham. Dennis Harrison also on the play, 68. We have 3:41 left to play in the third quarter. 27-21 Philadelphia, but the Vikings challenging.
Good field position here for them, too. They not much running room as Harrison comes over and chases him out of bounds into the snowbank.
They're alternating middle guards. Now Charlie Johnson goes out for the Eagles, and Ken Clark comes in. A rookie from Syracuse, number 71. He'll play over the nose of the center, Nick Tingelhoff. Tarkenton sends two wide receivers left. 2nd and 8. Tarkenton throws it downfield and standing alone with the football, waiting for it, Ahmad Rashad. Mihalik makes the play, but the Vikings strike again, and now they're inside the Eagle 35-yard line.
Just an out pattern. You see, Edwards had a little trouble changing directions that time and coming back up and making the play.
.334 left to play in the third quarter. Incomplete. Tarkinen pumps it down, tries to go to Ricky Young. And do we have another marker down?
We do have a marker down, and I think the call is going to be against Rashad for pushing off. Rashad came down and pushed into the cornerback, Bobby Howard.
Got the Vikings falling back, so it must be going against them.
Yeah, see, it was an offensive pass interference call. He went down and tried to draw the penalty on Howard, but Howard just held his ground, and Rashad pushed off of him.
Bob Howard's played a strong game. You recall the earlier interception he had to stop a Viking drive. Berge also intercepted.
Number 28.
You got
offense,
it. Rashad
still first down.
pushing off, so a 10-yard penalty. It'll make it 1st down and 20 now for Tarkenton and the Vikings at the 43-yard line of Philadelphia. 3:29 to play, third quarter. Philadelphia 27, Minnesota 21. Tarkenton scrambling, pumping, puts it downfield, and hits a guy who wasn't in the game.
Throw it over the bench.
Coach Grant still doesn't let those guys have anything but their little capes, does he? No foot warmers. Doesn't want them thinking about the cold.
It's all in the mind, huh?
That's it, yeah. Coach Grant's got himself pretty well covered, though.
He's allowed to. He's a coach.
Right. Tarkenton, tough play now. The Eagle defense digs in, 2nd down and 20. Draw play, Foreman. Boy, he's a long yardage runner. And Foreman got back almost all the penalty yardage. Is going to bring up 3rd down and about 11 now for Minnesota. Down to make the play was Ken Clark, the middle guard. He made the tackle for Philadelphia along with Reggie Wilkes.
Reggie Wilkes
John
on the
Shara.
tackle.
Shara and Logan, the safeties for the Philadelphia Eagles. Herman Edwards and Bob Howard at the corners. Wilkes, Lemaster, Berge, and Mahalik back leading the line with a 3rd and 11 play coming up now for the Vikings.
3rd and 11 for the Vikings.
In the third quarter,
Eagles 34.
Tarkin has already thrown the ball 37 times.
I'm going to come off on one of these. Here's a throw. Up for grabs, going to the tight end. Coming across to slap it down was Herman Edwards. Very nearly the 3rd interception of the day. So the Eagle defense, beneficiaries of the penalty call against the Vikings, would set them back to a 2nd and 1st and 20. And Tarkin's unable to convert for the first down from there on 3 downs. Now that Hunter comes out, the Eagles will get the ball back. This Viking challenge for the moment is stopped with 2:36 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
For the Eagles, number 8, Coleman, a Viking punter.
Greg Coleman from Florida A&M. And there is John Shara from UCLA, back waiting. It'll be an angle punt. He'll be looking to put it in somewhere inside the 10 if he can. Here's the snap. Eagles set up coverage. Angled punt. Into the end zone. Touchback. Eagles get a break. They'll come out on offense 1st and 10 at their 20.
Into the end zone. The Eagles will start from their 20.
So the 3rd quarter clock now shows 2 minutes and 29 seconds left to play. The score, Philadelphia 27, Minnesota 21. Eagles have the ball when we come back.
With great skill and discipline, you teach what's been kept a secret for centuries. And when the lesson has been taught and learned, now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
You got the time, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
The Stevens Estate. The $20,000 Mercedes looks right at home.
So does the $5,000 Granada Ghia, sometimes mistaken for a Mercedes. It's an American classic.
Meredith Manor. Mercedes styling looks at home.
And Granada's does too.
Hamilton House. Mercedes classic styling.
Granada's classic styling. And the Granada price makes it right at home at any home. The 79 Ford Granada at your Ford dealer.
Philadelphia 27, Minnesota 21. With 2:29 left to play and a bitter cold day here in Bloomington, Minnesota. Temperatures in the low teens now. Snow flurries picking up. Wind is gusting, not that strong, about 7 miles an hour. It was at the outset of the game. The field is frozen. It's a slippery track. Jaworski goes to set up and then gives off quickly to Hogan. Or rather to Montgomery, who gets ahead to the 25-yard line. Wilbert Montgomery with excellent acceleration, nearing a 1,000-yard season.
I think that run just made him 1,000 yards. 1,000 yards.
Yard short.
Yard short? Well, they should give him 6 on that. They only gave him 5.
Jeff Seaman made the knockdown, middle linebacker along with Mark Mullaney. Right back to Wilbert Montgomery. That was the same move he put on to run 36 yards for a touchdown. Going right, then cutting back against the pursuit. And Wilbert Montgomery is the second man in Eagles history to rush for 1,000 yards in a season. The last to do it back in 1949, Steve Van Buren.
Right.
When did you go to the Eagles?
1957.
First and 10 for the Eagles at their 33.
57 through 63.
Washington 64
through 74.
8 years, 18 years. Here is Montgomery, cutting back again. Vikings get mean with him this time and bash him down on that hard, cold ground. Fred McNeil, 54 on the hit, along with Mark Mullaney.
Take a look, watch this from ground level. You see, this is what Montgomery does best. That's cutting back against that grain. This time he didn't get away with it because the pursuit caught up with him.
Wilbert Montgomery, a 195-pound running back out of Abilene Christian, in his second year scored 76 touchdowns in college, an NCAA record that still stands. Came to the Philadelphia Eagles as a 6th-round draft choice last year. Swing pass goes to Montgomery. And Wilbert Montgomery gets out to the 38-yard line, and the Vikings treating him rudely when they get a hold of him, but they're getting a hold of him downfield. He got 6 on that one. McNeil and Mullaney got him. We'll watch it again.
Montgomery's been a busy man. He just carried the ball 3 straight times. Now they swing him out of the backfield, and a little swing pass with lineman out in front of him. Good play by Fred McNeil. And
that was the final play of the third quarter as the gun sounds. With the score, the Philadelphia Eagles 27, the Minnesota Vikings 21. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Wednesday, the Crosbys and some family friends recall magical holiday moments. Bing Crosby, the Christmas year. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain. This is CBS.
Dick Vermeil and his Philadelphia Eagles looking at a 3rd down and 3 play coming up for their offense. Bud Grant and his Minnesota Vikings looking at a scoreboard that reads Eagles 27, Vikings 21. And Green Bay won earlier today, beating Tampa Bay 17-7. Montgomery runs, and he didn't get there. He worked and tried, but the Vikings shut it down. They keyed on him. Sutherland, 69, the first man to hit him. So now Michel comes out to punt the ball back to the Vikings as we are in the first minute of the 4th quarter.
Have to give it back again. They're going to have to get some offense generated somehow. You can't keep giving the ball to Fran Tarkington in good field position. Like they'd like to block.
Michel hits the ball well. Miller fields it over the shoulder, back at his 25, looks for a place to run, doesn't find one. Harry Tottolo, UCLA linebacker, 58, down covering on special teams for the Eagles. So there is a pause in the action. 14 minutes, 17 seconds left to play in the game. The Vikings trailing by 6 will be back with the ball when we come back.
Sunday, CTV's most popular show, 60 Minutes. Then on All in the Family, Archie's Bar gets hit with some bogus money. And Vera gets ESP on Alice. Then Kaz takes a break with a special lady. And the drama heats up on Dallas. Exciting comedy and drama Sunday at 7, 6 Central and Mountain Time.
With Sonny Jurgensen, this is Don Criqui back at Bloomington, Minnesota, Metropolitan Stadium. That's what our score is as the Vikings have the ball back, trailing by 6, 27-21. Houston has gone out in front of Houston 3-0 at the on a Roy Girella field goal. Seattle, which might be a playoff team, in fact, could win the AFC West, beating Cleveland 14-0 at the Kingdome in Seattle. And a big score in from Irving, Texas, the New England Patriots, a touchdown underdog, beating Dallas 7-3.
First and 10 for the Vikings at their 26.
The Viking offense first and 10 at their 27-yard line. Tarkinen, who's going to put up maybe 50 passes before this game is over, throwing on the run and throwing it away.
Very wisely. He wanted to come out in the flat to Young, but Young was covered, and then he took it back down and threw it over the bench.
Philadelphia Eagles historically 0-6 against the Vikings. They have never beaten a Minnesota Viking team. The last time they played in 1976, Minnesota won 31-12. Now St. Louis has gone back ahead of Detroit at Busch Stadium, 21-14. Tarkinen goes to the draw, and the good defensive play is made by the middle guard of the Philadelphia Eagles. He threw him off, and then Berge came down and made the tackle. So the gain is only about to the 27-yard line as Foreman goes back to the Viking huddle. 13:50 left to play in the game. Clock running. Ron Jaworski so far has passed 18 times, 11 completions, no interceptions, 204 yards, and 3 touchdowns. We'll give you Tarkinen's numbers in just a moment as he pumps and throws, and did the man get it? It looks like he did. Reception is made by Sammy White, wide receiver from Grambling, right off the top of the turf. Randy Logan was covering. Tarkinen puts it in low away from the defense, and Sammy White, who caught 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter, makes a big reception for the Vikings.
Well, watch how he catches this ball. He actually goes back for it and catches it behind him, right on the ground.
First and 10 for the Vikings at their 44.
The crowd enthusiasm builds now as the Vikings, trailing by 6, go with a first down. Tarkinen takes a look. Now they're starting to run him down. Harrison gets it off. Forces Tarkinen to throw early, incomplete, second down and 10. Vikings, their 44-yard line. Sonny?
Tarkenton's now thrown the ball 41 times. He's 21 for 41 for 198 yards.
He's been intercepted twice and has thrown for 2 touchdowns, or 3 touchdowns. Through the one to Ricky Young, a little swing pass that Young took in for the only score of the second half. This was a 27-14 game, Philadelphia at the half. It's now 27-21 in the fourth quarter. Eagle defense has been on the field a long time. Down over the nose of the center is Ken Clark. He's the middle guard, a very key person in the Eagle 3-4 defense. They come with a blitz. LeMaster starts to come, putting pressure on Tarkinen. Intercepted! Picked off by the strong safety Randy Logan of the Eagles. And for a 3rd time and a 25th time this season, Fran Tarkenton is intercepted. And so the Eagles now get the ball back on the interception on the Viking side of the field.
Well, Logan really makes a good play here, coming right in front of White. He read the play perfectly and stops the drive.
Cast iron where you need it, for strength and accuracy. Hardened gears and ball bearing construction, for long life and dependability. Heavy-duty motors with power to spare. Rockwell builds tools that way for a reason. Because a power tool is only as good as the job it can do, and just how long it can do it. Rockwell, your work can't afford anything less.
We could tell you that Pioneer's PL518 probably offers today's best value in a direct drive turntable. We could tell you its tone arm rides on 10 times the conventional number of ball bearings for smoother tracking, or that its direct drive motor all but eliminates wow and flutter. But nothing we tell you will be as convincing as this. Pioneer, we bring it back alive.
Only 3 coaches in the history of the National Football League have had better winning records. John Madden is the best of all in percentages won, over 74% at Oakland. Don Shula's number 2, Vince Lombardi 3, and that man to the left, Bud Grant, is number 4. His Vikings, with a record of 114, 48, and 5 in his 12 years here at Minnesota. But the Vikings have a big problem now. A 3rd interception of Tarkenton. Philadelphia with the ball at the Viking 46, and the Eagles leading 27-21. Here's a throw. Almost right back to the Eagle, or to the Vikings, as Tom Hannon had a play on the ball. Jaworski and the Eagle offense have not turned the ball over in their last 2 games.
Looks like Hannon got hurt. You know what this presents now? Paul Krause with an opportunity to, he trails what, Evanston by 1. He has 78 career interceptions, and he hasn't had much opportunity to play this year. And if he does get in, he'll get a chance to maybe make that 79.
Hannon's feet slipped out from under him. He hit the small of his back hard on this frozen field, and we'll be back in a moment.
When you break horses for a living and you do it wrong, they can break you first. But when you do it right, you can turn a terrified animal into a horse a man can count on. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, if you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer.
Across the sea from Germany comes Ford Fiesta, Wundercar, a record-breaking sales success throughout Europe with front-wheel drive and Michelin steel belted radials for sure-footed traction, rack and pinion steering for direct response, quick responsive acceleration, and great EPA mileage estimates. Fiesta, backed by Ford Motor Company, sold and serviced by over 5,000 Ford Fiesta dealers coast to coast. Ford Fiesta.
Coming next, see top touring pros in the Mixed Team Championship of Golf. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
27-21 on a slippery field, as you'll see evidenced right here. Harold Carmichael.
Gee. Gives you an idea of the conditions.
Jaworski drops to throw. Hannon, the free safety's out of the game. Free football. They cannot intercept. The ball was tipped. Mark Mullaney got a hand on the ball, and trying his very best to intercept was Matt Blair, but he couldn't get to the football. That brings up 3rd and 10 now. Watch it again.
Yeah, Mullaney gets right in front of him. I'm not sure where he was going with that ball.
Tom Hannon bruised his back, the free safety, second-year man from Michigan State. He is out of the game right now, the veteran Paul Krause. Now Hannon's right back in. Krause was in for a play. 3rd and 10 Eagles. They lead 27-21, 12:32 left to play in the game. Payne is open, but lost his footing as he tried to turn out at the ball. And so the Eagles go to the punt again. Jaworski is down. I think more out of disappointment he didn't hit it. He's up. Mullaney hit him just after he released the ball. Payne had a play on the football. It was well thrown, but when he made that last cut, he lost his footing. We're going to see more and more of that, I think, Sonny. Look at the
I think so. I think the field's getting worse all the time.
The Patriots, 10-3 over Dallas. Cowboys a touchdown favorite. The Vikings went hard for the block. They did not get it, and the punt goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. So the Eagles get the big play from punter Mike Michel. An all-out rush by the Minnesota Vikings just misses getting to the football. Michel drills it out of bounds inside the Viking 5. So with 12:20 left to play in the game, Minnesota comes out on offense with a long way to go to get the equalizing touchdown.
This really puts Tarkenton back in a hole, doesn't it? Working out of his own end zone.
He's got him huddled up in the end zone. They'll break and go to scrimmage from the 3-yard line. Miami beating Washington today 16-0. Jets beating Baltimore 24-16. Tarkenton throwing from the end zone, loops it downfield. Man was covered. He threw the ball away. It'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 3.
He didn't want to take any chances of getting sacked back there, realizing he's only trailing by 6 points.
Here's another final in. The Kansas City Chiefs hold on. Beat the Buffalo Bills 14-10. The clock is stopped here in the 4th quarter. 12:15 to play on the incompletion. Sammy White comes out wide to the left. Ahmad Rashad also on the left flank. Tarkenton, quick screen, throws to White. Weaving ahead. Sammy White cuts back into the middle, gets some blocks. White, who can fly, almost broke it. He did get a first down. A gambling play, and White, when he saw the sideline cordoned off, goes right back into the heart of the field, right through the defense.
Well, he does. He comes right back into a crowd of people after he makes the reception wide. Watch this as he starts up the field. Wanted to go outside, but here he starts ducking some green helmets.
Where is he? There he goes.
There he goes.
Back to live action now on 1st and 10. Tarkenton takes another look, loops the ball over to Ricky Young, and a big play from behind as a great big eagle came swooping in.
Dennis Harrison
that's a great big
almost
eagle.
got his hand on the thing.
6'8", 275.
Starting his pass complete to Ricky Young.
Seattle putting a hurting on Cleveland.
Dennis Harrison on the
21-0. Seattle will extend its record to 8-6 with a victory today, and will be tied with either Oakland or Denver for second place, depending on the outcome of the Oakland-Denver meeting later. Clock running. We're inside 11 minutes to play now. 10:58 left to go in the game. Vikings trailing 27-21. Tarkenton pumps and throws again. Rashad takes the pass. LeMaster catches him, throws him down along with Harrison.
See how careful he was with his footing then. Obviously getting much worse. Watch how careful he is. Yes, moving. Looks like a little dance step, huh? Cha-cha-cha.
Again, while we have a moment, very happy to report the continued progress to good health of Philadelphia Eagles owner Leonard Toews. Watching the game back in Philadelphia and feeling much better. Everyone sends Lenny Toews their best. He's got to be thrilled about this one so far. Here's Tarkenton standing in, pumping the ball. It's broken up by Logan. Good block by Logan. Strong safety on the tight end, and Logan reached in and knocked it down.
An indication right then of why Fran Tarkenton has 25 interceptions. The man was covered, and he felt that he could beat the defense with the ball, and he threw it even though the man was covered.
And that brings up 4th down for the Vikings, so they have to punt the ball as you watch the breakup on replay. Duke Struck, our director here today at Bloomington, Minnesota. Tom O'Neill, our producer. As we have 10-10 left to play in the game, the Eagles leading by 6. They'll get the ball back now on a punt. Here's the snap. Good hit by Coleman. Shara fields it. And perfect special teams coverage by Harry Washington, number 80. He came down, was right there as Shara took the ball, but the Eagles have the football now with 10:02 left to play in the game. The ball at their 47-yard line. So stay with us. This one's going down to the wire. We'll be back in a moment.
If this were your home, that delivery man could sue you for everything you've got. And if most of your liability coverage was on your car instead of your home, you'd be in big trouble. That's why Continental invented the PCP car and home policy. It gives the same high liability coverage on your car and your home. That's more protection for your money. And one more reason why nobody spells protection like the Continental Insurance Companies.
This is no ordinary industrial furnace. It belongs to the first plant of its kind in America that traps waste gases and burns them as boiler fuel. The system was built by Phillips Petroleum, so we can take what would have been air pollution and use it for power, turning potential air pollution into energy while we make fine products for your car. That's performance. From Phillips Petroleum, the performance company.
Here we are back at Bloomington, Minnesota. This distinguished gentleman is Sonny Jorgensen, the former record holder.
Former. Don't keep bringing that up.
The record fell today. But right now, we've got a lot of football to go. 10 minutes and 2 seconds left to go. A new quarterback in the game. Apparently, Jaworski was shaken up. Worston was indicated by the way he ran off the field. Here is Walton in the game. John Walton, strong-arm quarterback. He gives to Wilbert Montgomery, and you can be sure that is the Eagle game plan right now. Run that football, run that clock. Montgomery gets 5. He has become a 1,000-yard rusher for the Eagles today. Going over the 1,000-yard mark.
Word on Jaworski is that he has a bruised hand.
Before he bruised it, he played another superior football game. 3 touchdown passes, no interception. Second down and actually 4, 6-yard gain for Montgomery. This is tough for Walton, though, isn't it, Sonny, to come in on a cold day like this?
Just thinking the same thing, boy. You're trying to get a feel of the game, and it's going to help if his team can move the ball on the ground to let him get a little feel for it, because especially tough under the conditions like this.
Eagles are doing that as Hogan carries, moving out behind the left side of the offensive line of Philadelphia. And the first down carry advances the ball inside the 40-yard line of the Vikings. Phil Wise and Tom Hannon, the safeties, were on the stop.
The Eagles could get down here and get a score here, any type of score, even a field goal.
That's right. Right now, a touchdown would tie the game for the Vikings, and of course an extra point would win it. But the Vikings right now are not in position to score. The Eagles have the ball, and they're moving it with the run. They go back to Wilbert Montgomery. He takes the ball down to the 37. And most importantly at this point for Philadelphia, the clock is running. 8:30 left to go in the game and running.
Let's watch the blocking of
Wise, Blair, and
Osborne here, and Walters and Lucan. They kind of caught up in a hurry with Osborne, didn't they?
Yeah, Osborne has played some pretty good football, though, coming into the breach when one of the best players in the Eagle team, Keith Crefley, went out with an injury, a rib injury that had him on injured reserve. He'll not play again this season. Walton right back to the run, right back to Hogan, nothing there. They're going to run him back over to Edina. It's the next town. Matt Blair was on the stop along with Tom Hannon.
You see right here, he gets no place to go at all, and Hannon comes up and fills, and along with Blair. Osborne going out. Guess they're going with 3 wide receivers now because of third and long situation. See if Walton puts it up.
Walton's going to throw for the first time. He puts it up hard. Hogan diving for the ball, can't hold on third down, and so Michelle and the Eagle punting unit comes back out. 7:19 left to play in the game.
Yeah, this is tough. I don't think that Walton had time to warm up, and you saw that throw. He didn't even take his stride in delivering the football.
Here's a guy that's played a big game for the Eagles from Stanford University, Mike Michelle, the punter. They're putting pressure on him every time. Last time you recall, he hit it out of bounds inside the 5. This time, he hits one that's going to hop out. And again, Michelle does his job well. Gets it out of bounds at the 10-yard line. It leaves the Vikings 90 yards of cold, frozen field to tie this game. So the clock is stopped with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the game. And the Eagles holding to a 6-point lead.
You can tell by their style and flair. They're now. And you can tell by the way they're getting there. They're now. The Futura is now.
There's a distinctive personal car for now. The 79 Futura with tomorrow's look right now. Space efficiency for now. High mileage ratings that are now. And a sticker price that says, why wait?
The future isn't someday, it's now.
The Futura is now.
Fairmont Futura at your Ford dealers.
For those parents who realize that $600 isn't too much to spend to expand their child's world, Radio Shack has the perfect gift. The TRS-80 computer, the most significant investment a parent can make. Programs for your child's education or your business, finance, and home use. Let your children discover tomorrow's technology today. The TRS-80, the biggest name in little computers. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Wednesday, the Crosbys and some family friends recall magical holiday moments. Bing Crosby, the Christmas Year. Wednesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Bing Crosby Christmas Years will be coming up, and we have a Christmas setting here in Bloomington, Minnesota. A snow-filled December day. And the Minnesota Vikings with the pressure on. Harkinen drops to throw. Footing's tough. Gets it away, and Tucker, his tight end, goes up and makes a fine reception. Eagle defenders playing way back. They don't want to get burned with the long one. Lemaster comes up and makes the hit on the tight end.
Tucker made a good catch in going up and pulling that down, because that thing ricochets off his hand. He could have been intercepted. Watch this, the ball's thrown a little high for him.
Francis had a skate a little there.
Second and 2 for the Vikings.
Yes, you saw him lose his footing as he was getting ready to deliver.
Tarkinen goes right back. Ricky Young tries the middle of the Eagle defense. Nothing there. Bill Berge fills. And the clock continues to run. 6:25 left to play in the game and running. Eagles 27, Vikings 21. Seattle's putting Cleveland away.
23. That's an exciting football team.
Oh, man, that Zorn leaves the house throwing on Sunday morning.
3rd and 1 for the Vikings at their 19.
2 tight ends in the game now, and 3rd and less than a yard for the Vikings. Foreman carries. Looks like he got it.
Chuck Foreman, the ball carrier.
Chuck Foreman gets the ball out across the 20.
Tough first down. Clock running down to 5:50 now.
And McMaster on the tackle.
It does become a factor, doesn't it?
And that field is a factor. Now that's like an ice rink. Very difficult for the cuts. The wide receivers who are running those smooth gliding patterns early. We haven't seen that lately. Harkinen takes a look. Rashad turns out. Herman Edwards almost got one.
Almost got one. He just misplayed the ball. But if Rashad catches it after that, he scores.
That's right.
Because he overran the ball.
So on first down, you're in a hole when you miss it, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 now.
Boy, he almost came away with that thing.
49 pass attempts by Fran Tarkinen so far in the game. He's going to hit 50 probably right now.
2nd and 10 for the Vikings at their 22.
And he's completed 25 of 49. 3 interceptions, 3 touchdown throws. Try to cross him up, goes with the draw. Short gain, 3rd and 8. Carl Hairston, 78 on the stop for the Eagles.
Hairston and Mihalik on the
Clock still running. They need to taking their time, aren't they?
Yes, sir. It's down to 5 minutes to go now. 5 minutes left in the game. 4:58. Vikings with the ball, trailing 27 to 21.
3rd and 8 for the Vikings at their 24.
Tarkinen's numbers. Put that arm in a whirlpool. Gets in, drills it hard. Man is open. Sammy White. Not done yet. And White is out to the 44-yard line. Herman Edwards finally brings him down, so the Vikings come up with the big gainer. And we've got a long way to go.
Yes, he had a crossing pattern underneath the zone drops. Really found a big opening in there. He almost broke this. Edwards makes the tackle. Big first down for the Vikings.
A very big first down as the ball is advanced almost to the 45-yard line of Minnesota. 1st and 10. Foreman is in the backfield, a line behind Tarkinen. Wide to either side are Rashad and White. 27-21 Eagles, 4th quarter. Handoff. Foreman. Berge gets it. Knocks him down to the 47. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Clock runs. 3:55 to go. Here's a final in from St. Louis. The Cardinals win their 5th game. 21-14 over Detroit. The team, the Vikings, will be going to play at Pontiac, Michigan next Saturday, a game you'll see here on CBS. Here as we are with the live action in the 4th quarter, 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. The Vikings trailing by 6 as Tarkinen drops to throw, looks long. Dumps it off to Foreman. He eludes Wilkes, but Wilkes recovers, knocks him down, a gain of only a yard. 3rd and 7.
There again was an example of Tarkinen throwing the ball. Even though the man was covered, he had confidence that he could get the ball to Foreman. He dumped it off to him, and Foreman picks up a couple of yards. Some discussion here, maybe a penalty.
That is the case, and it is against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, a very costly one, too.
Boy, I tell you, this is some football game.
Oh, big one.
All the way down to the Eagle 36-yard line. Here's the call.
Personal foul, flag Number 66, defense, first down.
Personal foul, blow to the head. I think it was the number 66 he called, or 60. Might have been Berge. He can give you a blow to the head, all right. Take the head right off. So the Vikings, beneficiaries of a big penalty, trailing by 6. Tarkenton looks, timing pattern in the flat, and that would have been 6 points for the Eagles as Herman Edwards came up full speed, had his hands on the ball, could not hold on. He would have crossed the goal line with nobody within 30 yards of him.
Oh, is this close? Take a look how close he comes to breaking this game open. Going the other way with it.
He was going full speed.
That's the kind when you've thrown that thing, you want to put a string on it and pull it back to you.
That brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Minnesota Vikings, 36-yard line of the Philadelphia Eagles. The wide receivers again deploy to the left as Young goes in motion right. Tarkenton, who's thrown over 50 times, looks, big rush, swings it out to Foreman, loses his footing, and he's down for no gain, maybe a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 10, ball at the 36-yard line of Philadelphia. And the clock runs, it's down to 3 minutes.
Big play here, they got to decide what they're going to do. On 4th down, they might even maybe thinking of going 2 plays here. Run one here and pick it up on 4th down. Don't imagine they'll kick it away or even go for the field goal.
Other clock you see ticking off is the 30 seconds that the offensive team has allotted between plays to get the ball in play. Tarkenton, 3rd down and almost 10. On the sprint out, takes a look. Pumps it up, lets her go long. Defense is there, receiver is there, a clean breakup in the end zone. It's 4th down Vikings. As the Philadelphia Eagles left side cornerback Bob Howard, the free safety John Shara combined on one of the most important defensive plays of this game for Philadelphia.
Yes, it was. Excellent play. Take a look at it. He sprints out. White ran a double move. He faked like he was going out. Fran lost his footing a little bit. He makes an accurate throw, but Howard, you see the good coverage there. 4th down.
Tried to turn in. Shara had the middle cordoned off, and then Bob Howard breaks the play up. 4th down and 10 for the Vikings. They're going for it from scrimmage. Tarkenton looks, pumps, reloads, looks to run. Now he throws. Man is open. Tucker. It's a 1st down, and Tucker's down to the 11-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 11-yard line of Philadelphia on a 4th and 10 play with the football game on the line. Tarkenton delivers it to Tucker for a Viking 1st down.
Big play here. Fran ran around back in, gave himself some time, and Tucker just kept running a crossing pattern. Ran on across the field. Fran delivered it to him. We're down to 2 minutes.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. The beer will
Oh, Brown. What's all this? Compliments of the gentleman at the bar, sir. That is no gentleman.
That's Tom Grant. Tom, I don't believe it.
What's it been, 5 years?
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Low and Brown.
Somebody's got to say it, you two. Here's to good friends.
All right.
Introducing a whole new breed of Mustang. The all-new 79 Mustang from Ford. With a new aerodynamic design, precise handling, and Mustang performance from options of V6, V8, even a turbocharged engine. Mustang for 79, the new breed in 2-door and 3-door models. Capture one at your Ford dealer now.
The Minnesota Vikings, a championship caliber team, driving from their 10-yard line. On 4th and 10, they get the big play for the 1st down. And now they have the ball spotted at the Eagle 10. So it'll be 1st and goal from the Eagle 10, with Philadelphia leading the game 27-21 and 2 minutes left to play. Tarkenton, hands off. Miller turning wide. Penalty marker comes in from off the play. A penalty marker is thrown in as Miller gets down to the 5.
I think it's going to be against the Vikings.
holding against the Vikings. So from the 10, they go to the 20.
Ooh, what a big break that is for Philadelphia.
1:55 left to play. The Eagles leading 27-14 at the half. Have not scored in the second half. Their defense has been on the field almost all the time. It's played superior football.
Number 73, offense, still first down.
Ranieri, an all-pro tackle, is called for the hold. They were running on his side, the right side.
That's right. He was just trying to keep Harrison from getting into the play. To slant that way. See what Fran's going to come up with here.
1:55 left to play. Eagles 27, Vikings 21. First and goal from the 20 of Philadelphia. Tarkenton, pump fakes, looks into the end zone, lets her rip. Touchdown Eagles! Ahmad Rashad goes up over 2 defenders. Touchdown Vikings. Vikings score the touchdown over Herman Edwards, and now the game is tied at 27.
What a great catch that was. He just went up and stole the football. Again, a double move. Again, throwing the ball, even though the people are covered. And watch this. Both people were there. Starr was there, Edwards there. But Rashad comes down with the football.
But there's 1 minute and 49 seconds left on the clock, so the Eagles on the subsequent kickoff after this extra point attempt could conceivably, very conceivably, get in range for a field goal attempt. Dan Meyer, the extra point. Booms it through. The Vikings take the lead 28-27. So we'll be back at Metropolitan Stadium as we're going to go right down to the final gun on this one.
Oh no, he's home.
A kiss goodbye?
You must go. And besides, your beard, it's rough.
And I'll shave.
There's no time.
I'll use this Rise with 3 softeners. Rise will start to soak and soften my whiskers in no time. See? Rise helps me get a close shave quick.
You're smooth, Eddie, and so quick. Father, how about a close shave?
Rise for a quick, close shave.
It's lightweight. It's portable. It's virtually indestructible. You can hammer on it, saw on it, sand on it, paint on it, drive a screw on it, cut a pipe on it, clean a door on it, fix a picture on it, or a wheelbarrow, or a chair, or a bicycle. You can even have your lunch on it. The incredible Black & Decker workmate. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
28-27, the Vikings go 90 yards with the pressure on. They take the lead now with 1:49 left. Dan Meyer kicks off a high spinner. 25, Wilbert Montgomery breaks out to the 38-yard line. And with 1:42 left to play, the Eagles go on offense. Let's see if Jaworski comes out to quarterback the team. He is. Here comes Ron Jaworski back out.
They have their 3 timeouts.
What a game. The temperature dropping down close to 10 degrees now. The field is frozen. Wind 7 miles an hour has not seemed to affect the passing game too much, but the cold certainly has. It's getting more and more difficult to run the patterns on a frozen field and more difficult to hold onto the ball. First and 10 Eagles, Jaworski at quarterback. He eludes Carl Eller and hits Hogan, but there's a loss on the play of a yard. Carl Eller playing the big game, and the clock is running. 1:27 left to go. Phil Wise comes up on the play. He made the hit for the loss. Jaworski sets his team down now as we go back to live action without a huddle. 1:16 left to go as you see the clock ticking down. He has time. Mulaney gets it. The Vikings come thundering through with the big pass rush and sack Ron Jaworski with 1:07 left to play. So right now, as you watch it on the replay, the Eagles signal a timeout with 1:07 left.
I like pickles, but they don't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
I like pizza, but it doesn't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
Digel's special combination of antacid and anti-gas ingredients gives you fast, gentle relief from acid indigestion, heartburn, and gas in just minutes.
I like hot dogs, but they don't like me.
Send your stomach some Digel.
Here they come.
This year, you want to give your family a holiday to remember.
It's a puppy! It's a puppy!
That's why you should remember Beneficial. Because Beneficial wants to lend you the full amount you have in mind to give your family all the good things they deserve.
I love Santa.
Me too.
Phone Beneficial for your holiday loan today.
28-27, Minnesota over Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski with 3rd down and almost 24 to go for the first down. The ball spotted back inside the Eagles' 30-yard line. Final from New Orleans. Saints beat the 49ers. 3rd and 23 for Jaworski and the Eagles. They need to get in field goal range. The clock shows 1:07 to play. And the Vikings are generating the championship rush right now. Here they come again. Kyle Eller. Jaworski gets it away to Hogan. He can't hold on. Mulaney makes the hit, and this could be the final play of the football game for Philadelphia. 4th down, 23. And we thank these gentlemen for their fine work. Our producer, Tom O'Neill. Our director, Duke Struck, and the rest of our CBS crew here at Metropolitan Stadium. To thank our spotter, Ron Cadwell, and our statistician, Peter Spokes.
A tough loss. Tough loss for Philadelphia. It has to come down to the thing that's plagued them throughout the year, special teams, kicking game.
Green Bay has won, and so the Vikings, if they hold on to win this game, would still be tied for the NFC Central lead. Jaworski rolls out away from the rush. Fires. First down! The ball is caught by Charlie Smith for a first down. And there's 51 seconds on the clock. That was a 4th and 23 play. And Jaworski threw another fastball, and Charlie Smith caught it for a first down.
By 1 yard, too. Watch this. Just by 1 yard.
It absolutely silences this sold-out stadium.
Oh, what a play.
This is an incredible football game.
Good rush this time. Had an excellent rush on him, and he comes out of the pocket. You see White going through, Mulaney spinning outside. This gives him the time, affords him the time to throw that thing, and they just pick up the first down. It's not over yet.
It is not over yet. As Jaworski and the Eagle offense have 51 seconds with which to work, they have 1 timeout remaining. That was a 4th and 23 play, and Ron Jaworski threw a strike to Charlie Smith for a first down. That would have been it. But now it's going to be alive right on through. 51 seconds.
You only have 1 timeout left too, Don, which is going to be a factor here of what type of plays you call.
Of course, from Largo, Florida, the Mixed Team Golf Championships coming up immediately following this game on CBS. Ron Jaworski goes back to the huddle. He's not been intercepted all day. He's thrown for 3 touchdowns. Right now, his team trails by a point, 28-27. Michelle, forced into place-kicking duties because of the injury to Mickemeyer, has not tried a field goal this season.
Hasn't even attempted one?
Hasn't even attempted one. Jaworski drops, gets some time, pump fakes, lets her rip. Tipped away from Wilbert Montgomery.
Good thing he hummed that one because it could have been intercepted.
Well, he can hum it too, can he?
Oh, what an arm.
Eagles had a couple of men running deep patterns, the clock shows. You see 45 seconds left to play. 2nd and 10. After the lead. Somewhere soon. Maybe right now, they're going to try to get it to Harold Carmichael. They have a linebacker right on his nose, Matt Blair. They have a safety playing way off him. They'll be at least double covering him. Jaworski running away from the pursuit. Looks. Goes on the run. Incomplete. Third down and 10.
White almost Smith almost came up with that football, didn't he?
Almost.
Ware thought he should have had an interception.
.35 seconds left to play now. 28-27, Minnesota. 3rd and 10 for the Eagles as Mullaney goes out of the game right now. And big Jim Marshall in his 19th year comes in. They want fresh troops to go after Jaworski. He looks, he throws, incomplete. Viking defense with 5 defensive backs in had the field sectioned off, and there was no room to go in the open.
They're really playing way off, and he's just running around trying to force some time and find an open receiver, and he just ended up having to throw the thing away, so they face another 4th down play coming up.
Tell you come down to look at this game. There's been so many great plays, so many spectacular plays. You have to look, of course, to the 4th down. Pass play. Harkin into Tucker. Down to the 10. Vikings took it in. Extra point went ahead. And then the 4th down and 23 play. Jaworski throwing a strike on the line to Charlie Smith for a 1st down. But now the Eagles game comes down to another single play. This is 4th and 10 Philadelphia. They must get the 1st down here with 26 seconds left. Jaworski throws. Intercepted. Matt Blair. And he brings it back out across the 40-yard line. And the Vikings will win the football game despite a brilliant, gallant effort by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Vikings rallying back from a 27-14 halftime deficit, rallying 90 yards downfield. Their last possession of the ball with time running out. And with 17 seconds left, the first turnover of the day by the Eagles goes to Matt Blair of the Vikings, and Minnesota has the football.
Oh, what a tough loss this is. Great win for the Vikings, but a tough loss for Philadelphia.
Well, they'll still come out of this 8-6 with 2 games at home between now and season's end. Dallas next week, then the Giants. And, of course, the Vikings with a win stay in a tie for first place with the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Central Division. Yeah, I would suspect that there will be, Tarkin won't be thinking handoff here after what the Eagles did to the Giants. The Eagles are allotted their final timeout. They stop the clock with 14 seconds to play. Sonny?
Yes, they just kind of hoping for a bad exchange between Tarkenton and Tingelhoff.
They've been doing it together for about 50 years. It's going to be unlikely they'll get one.
That's right, but the Eagles got to believe, because the
That's
same thing
right.
happened against New York, and
hey,
Edwards
we were
came
there.
away with the ball.
Bud Grant's almost ready to smile over this one.
He should. What they get? Didn't they tie Green Bay last week with 10 seconds to go in the game, and they come back this week in the last minute?
Telling you. The Vikings break the huddle on what will probably be the final play of the game as they rally from behind with 2 second-half touchdowns to win. And the clock ticks off as the Eagles are helpless to stop it, out of timeouts. That will be it. A great come-from-behind victory for the Vikings after a spectacular effort by the Philadelphia Eagles. The final score, Minnesota 28, Philadelphia 27. Now this is Don Criqui for Sonny Jurgensen saying goodbye from Metropolitan Stadium in Bloomington, Minnesota. Coming up next, we'll join the final round of this year's Mixed Team Golf Championship from Largo, Florida. That's coming up next, right here on CBS. The NFL on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports.